Family Immortal Cultivation. Starting as a spiritual farmer, this video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 776. The story between Ling Wanduo and Ling Wanlian. Deep in the Ling clan's territory, among the 72 mountains, the top of a high mountain was covered by countless flying sand and rocks. Countless violent spiritual power fluctuations continued to spread out from it, rippling around, shaking the mountain constantly. If it weren't for the protection of a second-level formation on this mountain, I'm afraid this mountain would have collapsed long ago. In addition, there is also a light curtain covering this place, which blocked all the abnormal movements on the top of the mountain and did not spread to the outside world to affect other spiritual mountains. At the same time, it concealed the situation in the mountain. If there were cultivators in this mountain, they would be able to see two cultivators fighting among the flying sand and rocks. Obviously, the abnormal movement on the top of this mountain was caused by those two people. However, the two people fighting were both extraordinary. The middle-aged monk, who looked calm but steady, could cast an earth spell with a single move, transforming into countless earth spikes or quicksand, like a magic turret. He could cast all kinds of spells at will, and the entire sky was covered by the spells cast by this person. The middle-aged man who was fighting against him had a wild look and a tuft of beard on his chin. His stature was far superior to that of an ordinary person. Now he was several feet tall, like a little giant. He also held a huge mace. Whenever he swung the mace, it would cause countless sounds of breaking through the air, and the many spells that came would be smashed by him. However, the bearded monk was still inferior. After only a few hundred moves, his defense was not good enough, and several earth spikes drove straight into his body. Surprisingly, the earth spikes bombarded the man, but did not cause any damage to him, nor did they see any blood. There were only a few roars, and the earth spikes gradually broke apart as if they had hit an iron wall. Through the damage to the Taoist robe of the bearded monk, the earth spikes pierced through the damaged part of the monk's robe, and it could be seen that the monk's skin had turned fiery red, with only a few white spots on the fiery red skin. But at this moment, more earth-based spells broke his offensive and killed him. Seeing this, the bearded monk's face suddenly became solemn. He immediately slapped a black beast bag on his waist and summoned a demon wolf with black hair all over its body, but with many fiery red flame patterns. As soon as this demon wolf appeared, it brought with it a huge aura of a great demon in the early stage of foundation building, which enveloped the surroundings. Phantom fire. At this moment, the middle-aged giant with a beard roared. The demon wolf seemed to be in tune with him, and immediately raised its head and roared. A flash of fire appeared around it, and the flame patterns in its hair came to life. A black and red light curtain was immediately propped up by the wolf, and at the same time, it protected the middle-aged monk with a beard, and blocked all the attacks from the earth-type magic cultivator in the distance. At this moment, the middle-aged monk with a beard also climbed onto the wolf demon, and with the help of the light curtain propped up by the wolf, he withstood the countless earth-type spells that attacked, and directly killed the magic cultivator in the distance. However, this move made the earth-type magic cultivator in the distance smile like a winner. He also patted the beast bag on his waist and summoned a spirit beast. This was a yellow-haired bear demon, and its aura was as high as the initial stage of foundation building, but in terms of power, it was weaker than the black-haired wolf demon here. As the earth-type magic cultivator had a thought, the yellow-haired bear demon also activated the inner alchemy secret technique and held up a thick protective light curtain to cover him. No matter how the bearded body cultivator riding the wolf attacked, it would be difficult to break the light curtain in a short time. The magic cultivator also relied on the spirit beast yellow-haired bear demon to help defend, so he had the opportunity to attack with all his strength. Within a few dozen moves, he relied on countless magic spells to break the light curtain held up by the wolf demon and suppress the bearded body cultivator riding the wolf. The bearded body cultivator riding the wolf resisted for a few moves, and seeing that he was already defeated, he suddenly felt frustrated and sighed helplessly. I didn't expect that I was still no match for Brother Wan Lang after entering the third level of foundation building. Then, he begged for mercy from the magic cultivator. Brother Wanduo, I admit defeat in this competition, stop it. After hearing this, the magic cultivator really stopped. There was a little more smile on this man's face, But when he saw the frustrated look on the bearded cultivator's face, the smile on his face suddenly disappeared. Instead, he became serious and scolded in the tone of an elder. "Brother Wan Lang, don't take the failure of the competition too seriously. Don't forget why the two of us have a competition every month. Only if we continue to expose our own shortcomings and then make up for them, can our strength be enhanced, and we can also catch up with our two cousins Wan Su and Wan Chuan. And the main reason for your defeat in this battle is still the same as before. You are not good at long-range attack methods, which led to my use of magic cultivation methods to fight you to death. I have told you countless times that you have entered the foundation building stage. Do you think you can defeat your opponent by fighting as hard as you did when you were practicing Qi? Don't forget how difficult it is to build a foundation, and how many of those who can enter the foundation building stage are mortals. Although you physical cultivators have weak spiritual consciousness and weak attack power of the magic weapons you control, if you can comprehend a magic method to the perfect level, the power you exert will not be weaker than that of ordinary cultivators. And as a physical cultivator, you are good at close combat. If you have a perfect level of magic to help you, your strength will surely increase exponentially. Don't always think that the help of your phantom fire wolf, who is good at using fire magic, can make up for this defect. This defect is yours, not the phantom fire wolf's. The bearded physical cultivator Ling Wanlian, who was riding the black-haired wolf demon, heard this and immediately raised a bitter smile on his face. Brother Wanlian, you know that I don't have much talent in magic. The seemingly very stable magic cultivator Ling Wandro saw Ling Wanlian's disappointing appearance and scolded him again. If you have no talent, you should practice hard. There are many cultivators in this world who have no talent for magic, but there are many cultivators who have comprehended one or two magics to the perfect level and can even cast them instantly. Don't use your laziness as an excuse. If you had listened to me earlier and practiced a magic, I'm afraid that after many years, even if your magic aptitude was poor, you could at least comprehend it to the great success level and cast it instantly in 2 seconds. Now that your cultivation has broken through to the third level of foundation building, it will be difficult to improve it any further. In the next year, you should comprehend a magic well. Even if it can't reach the perfect level, it's okay to comprehend it to the great success level. Also, don't forget, the monster rebellion is approaching, and those monsters will not be polite to you then. Chapter 777, How the Two Make Up for Their Shortcomings. Seeing Ling Wandro, who rarely gets angry, like this, Ling Wanlian also felt a little more afraid. Although Ling Wandro is not his blood brother, he is one of the 6 sons of the Ling family together with him. Therefore, he has been practicing and hunting monsters with Ling Wandro for many years. In addition, Ling Wandro is the oldest among the 6 sons of the Ling family, and the leader of the 6 sons of the Ling family. Ling Wandro is steady and prudent, and gradually, Ling Wandro is secretly regarded as the boss by Ling Wanlian, and Ling Wandro's status in his heart is also very high. Brother Wandro, don't be angry, I will listen to you and stop being lazy. Ling Wanlian, who is extremely arrogant and fights very hard on weekdays, is also a little timid at this moment, and whispered. Then why don't you go into seclusion to comprehend the magic? Ling Wandro snorted angrily. Ling Wanlian didn't dare to stay any longer, so he left here and entered a cave not far away. Ling Wandro, who was still on the battlefield, looked at the cave that Ling Wanlian had entered and said secretly, I hope Wanlian can remember the lesson this time. Once his magic is completed, with his combat power and the help of the mutant monster ghost fire wolf, I am afraid that there will be few opponents of the same level. By then, this kid will not be left too far behind by brother Wanchuan and brother Wang Su. Thinking of Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wang Su, who were both among the 6 sons of the Ling family, even Ling Wandro himself couldn't help but feel a little powerless. Both of them entered the sword cultivation path early and became powerful sword cultivators. Moreover, Ling Wanchuan, who was a genius in spiritual plants, also refined his life spirit plant Qingshi Lingzu into a life flying sword, making his strength several times stronger than that of ordinary sword cultivators. Ling Wangsu, who possessed the gift of divine consciousness, was also extremely terrifying. His sword cultivation path was different from Ling Wanchuan's. Ling Wanchuan's sword cultivation path was the same as that of Ling's sword cultivator Ling Pengyun in his early years, which was a method of breaking with one's strength. However, Ling Wangsu used the method of bombarding the enemy with sword formations. With his strong divine consciousness, he could set up several powerful sword formations once he fought. Even if he crossed 2 or 3 small realms to kill the enemy, it would be easy. Moreover, Ling Wanchuan originally had the dual spiritual roots of water and wood, and had an extraordinary talent for cultivation. Although Ling Wangsu had the qualification of 4 spiritual roots, he relied on the powerful effect of divine consciousness. With the help of that powerful divine consciousness during his cultivation speed was not slow at all, enough to be on par with ordinary dual spiritual root cultivators. This also made it so that although the two were younger than Ling Wanzhou, their cultivation had now reached the middle stage of foundation building. With this cultivation and the sword cultivation skills, these two people have become the strongest among the 6 sons of the Ling family, and can be compared with the old generation of foundation building cultivators in the family. Ling Wanzhou, who has 3 spiritual roots, has just entered the 3rd level of foundation building a few years ago. Although Ling Wanlian has 4 spiritual roots, he practices the method of physical cultivation, and spiritual roots are not very helpful for this. This person's physical cultivation aptitude is also quite good. He just entered the 3rd level of foundation building half a month ago. As for the other 2 of the 6 sons of the Ling family, the Beast Master Ling Wanhu and the Magic Refiner Ling Libing, they are mainly practicing the 100 arts. Although they have extraordinary strength with the help of spirit beasts and demon corpses, even with the cultivation of the initial stage of foundation building, they are not much worse than Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu. But they are not what Ling Wanzhou and Ling Wanlian can catch up with. After all, they don't have the talent of the 100 arts, so naturally they can't compare with them. Ling Wanzhou and Ling Wanlian only took the powerful spiritual plant husband Ling Wanchuan and the spiritual consciousness genius Ling Wangsu as their goals. At the same time, if the 2 of them, the bottom cultivators among the 6 sons of the Ling family, showed better qualifications, they could also get more resources from the family. At present, the resources they can get every month are far less than the resources that Ling Wanchuan and others can get every month. This is also something that Ling Wanzhou and Ling Wanlian envy, and it is also their goal. I can't be left behind by them. I have to comprehend the earth-based body cultivation method as soon as possible. By then, when I comprehend it to the foundation building level, I should have no problem catching up with my 2 cousins Wanchuan and Wangsu with a dual cultivation of law and body. Ling Wanzhou vowed secretly. His situation is different from that of Ling Wanlian. He is a law cultivator, and what he needs to make up for is the body. For this reason, as early as 20 or 30 years ago, after he knew that his physical strength was insufficient, he began to practice the body cultivation method. Although he was not a genius in physical cultivation, he was also quite good. With the help of a large amount of physical materials from his family, his physical cultivation was also improving rapidly. Now, his physical cultivation has reached the peak of the 9th level of key training, and he is only 1 step away from key training perfection. Ling Wanzhou collected his distracting thoughts, cleaned up the battlefield ruins, and then entered a cave in the mountain to practice in seclusion. On the other side, deep in the Ling clan's territory, in the Ghost Star Valley next to the 72 mountains with a strong ghost aura, in the training room of a cave, there was a black lamp that madly absorbed the surrounding ghost aura into its body, as if there was no limit. Around this black lamp, there were 2 monks with somewhat illusory bodies and auras like ghosts, and a black spider that was several feet in size guarding it. The auras of these 3 were actually as high as the foundation building realm. Especially the black spider, its aura was as high as the peak of the middle stage of foundation building, and it was only 1 step away from the late stage of foundation building. The lamp guarded by the 3 great masters was not an ordinary thing either. The magical lamp also contained the universe, and the space inside was dozens of feet large. Moreover, the ghost energy absorbed by the lamp became extremely pure under the effect of the lamp. The ghost energy in the lamp was extremely rich, even comparable to the ghost energy on the quasi-3rd level ghost vein. You know, the ghost vein in the outside world was only of the 2nd level middle grade. In the center of this rich ghost energy, there was a cultivator sitting cross-legged with countless sword energy surrounding him. However, this cultivator was a little strange, like the 2 cultivators guarding the outside world of the lamp. Although this person's body was a physical entity, his short black hair was a little illusory. In addition, this person was also emitting a strong ghost aura, as if this person was not a real person, but a ghost. Not long after, a sudden sound of breaking came from the dantian position of this person's abdomen. This person's aura also soared to the level of perfect foundation building, and the ghost energy on this person became a little richer. His somewhat illusory black hair also turned into real black hair at this moment, becoming pitch black. When all the abnormal movement stopped, this person also opened his eyes, revealing a bit of joy. Chapter 778, The Spiritual Power and the Ghost Immortal Sect's Inheritance. But before he could react, the four walls around the lamp suddenly flashed with black light, and a hidden aura spread out from it. Then, an old but weak voice quietly appeared. From nothing to the perfect foundation in 44 years, this aptitude is considered good even in the sect. You can enter the ranks of the sect's true disciples, and your future is bright. There is hope that you can help our sect. The voice muttered to itself for a while, and then said, My friend, I am the spirit of the Ghost Immortal Inheritance Treasure Lamp of the Ghost Immortal Sect, the largest force in the cultivation world in the extreme north 130,000 years ago. Are you willing to establish a cause and effect with our sect, inherit our sect's path, and help our sect's lineage? The ghost cultivator Ling Pengyun, who was surrounded by sword energy, saw that the strange treasure ghost yin lantern he found in his early years suddenly had the ability to speak with intelligence and human speech. Even the origin of the treasure was revealed. He was shocked for a moment. A treasure that can give birth to intelligence and speak human language must be at least a magic weapon of the third grade upper level. In the past, Ling Pengyun only thought that the ghost lamp was a rare treasure comparable to the level of a magic weapon. After all, at the beginning, he only thought that this treasure was a magic weapon, and among the magic weapons, only rare treasures could be used by a foundation-building cultivator like him. It was difficult for him to activate ordinary magic weapons. Who would have thought that this treasure was actually a rare spiritual treasure? A spiritual treasure can only be activated by a true lord above the nascent soul realm. And if this treasure really has been passed down from tens of thousands of years ago to the present, it is indeed very likely to be a spiritual treasure. Ordinary magic weapons cannot survive for such a long time. As for the extreme North Xiuxin realm, because it is the closest to this Hongzhou Xiuxin realm, as early as tens of thousands of years ago, after this Hongzhou Xiuxin realm was completely occupied by the human race in this Hongzhou Xiuxin realm opened up the land. The human race in that place also has a strong foundation. Even though the resources of the far North Xiuxin world are relatively scarce, that place is close to this Hongzhou Xiuxin world. With the support of the resources of this Hongzhou Xiuxin world, the far North Xiuxin world is extremely prosperous, and it is many times stronger than the northern wilderness Xiuxin world. There are as many Yuan-Yang forces as two hands. Even Ling Pengyun has heard about many powerful Yuan-Yang forces in the far North Xiuxin world. But the strongest one among them is not the Ghost Immortal Sect, but a righteous sect called the Extreme Cold Immortal Sect. And among the other Yuan-Yang forces, there is no figure of the Ghost Immortal Sect. This matter also made Ling Pengyun a little confused. However, at least half of what the Ghost Immortal Sect said just now, the Ghost Immortal Inheritance Treasure Lamp, the sect treasure of the Ghost Immortal Sect, is currently believed by Ling Pengyun to be true. This treasure is a treasure of inheritance. You know, the superior ghost cultivation method he is practicing now, Mogizu Inigan treasure book, was obtained by transferring all the ghost power into the four walls of the ghost fairy lamp. After a long time, he calmed down. Then, he stood up respectfully, bowed slightly to the inside of the lamp that made the sound, and then spoke. Senior, I wonder if the ghost fairy sect you are talking about is no longer there. Regardless of whether this treasure is a spiritual treasure or not, it is not something that Ling Pengyun, who has now completed the foundation building, can afford to offend. In addition, this treasure has helped him achieve enlightenment. And he is a ghost cultivator, and he has no aversion to the ghost sect, so he is more polite to this treasure. Therefore, Ling Pengyun is so polite. The black light flashing on the inner wall of the four lamps suddenly dimmed, and a sigh came from it. After being immersed for a long time, the old voice of the instrument spirit was heard again from the four walls. That's right. Looking at your condition, I guess you don't know the reputation of our Ghost Immortal Sect. But it's true. Our sect has been destroyed for 130,000 years. Time is cruel. Who can remember? After being immersed in it for a while, the old voice appeared again. Let me tell you about it, my friend. 13,000 years ago, my Ghost Immortal Sect was at its peak and dominated the entire Far North Immortal Cultivation world. In fact, the Far North Immortal Cultivation world was originally conquered by my sect from the Demon Clan. For this reason, countless ghost cultivators in the entire Immortal Cultivation world wanted to join my sect, and the number of ghost cultivators in my sect was as high as tens of thousands. This was after my sect carefully selected and eliminated many ghost cultivators with ordinary qualifications. Otherwise, the number of ghost cultivators in my sect would be at least hundreds of thousands. And my sect even had a spiritualization ghost lord in charge at that time, and the number of Yuanying true lords and Jindan true lords was even more numerous. It's a pity that the Burning Demon Fire Phoenix clan living in the east of the entire Immortal Cultivation world is so powerful that 2 spiritualization Dao lords were born in a short period of time. And this Fire Phoenix clan hates my sect and other demon forces to the bone. The magic skills mastered by this clan are extremely restraining to ghost cultivators and demon cultivators like us, and they are the great enemy of our demon forces. In order to protect himself, the Ghost King of our sect had to join forces with the other demonic spirit forces of the major cultivation worlds to attack the Fire Phoenix clan in the east. After countless years of war, the Fire Phoenix clan was destroyed, but my master, the Ghost King of the Transformation Spirit, also died in that battle. I was also seriously injured in that battle. It took more than 130,000 years, and my injuries are still not healed. Although many ghost cultivators of our sect survived, those scums of the righteous way took advantage of our sect's weakness and took the opportunity to kill all the surviving ghost cultivators of our sect. The Taoist lineage of our sect was also cut off from then on. After hearing this, Ling Pengyun was even more shocked. He didn't expect that the Ghost Immortal sect was so strong, and even had the legendary Yuanshan Daojin in charge. He had heard of the reputation of the Burning Demon Fire Phoenix clan. The destruction of this clan had long been circulated in the major cultivation worlds. Back then, the demons, ghosts, and other cultivators in the major immortal cultivation worlds were trying to destroy the Burning Demon Fire Phoenix clan, which led to its destruction and the interruption of its inheritance, causing the demon forces in the major immortal cultivation worlds to be one level weaker than the righteous forces. It is said that the number of Yuanshan Daojin Dao in the demon forces has not recovered to this day. I didn't expect that this Ghost Fairy Inheritance treasure lamp was actually the treasure of the Yuanshan Daojin of the Ghost Fairy sect, and it also experienced a battle to destroy the Phoenix back then. Thinking like this lamp is probably not an ordinary 4th level spiritual treasure, but it is very likely to be a 5th level spiritual treasure. Its strength when it is fully victorious must be extremely terrifying. Ling Pengyun was secretly shocked. At the same time, all his doubts were answered. However, he still had a little concern about inheriting the inheritance of this sect. After all, according to the Ghost Fairy lamp, there are still many powerful righteous forces who push the destruction of the Ghost Fairy sect. Then, he asked a question. Senior, if I agree to take over the inheritance and establish a cause and effect relationship with your sect, will those righteous sects that destroy the remaining inheritance of the Ghost Immortal sect in the early years be aware of my existence? There are many methods in this world of immortal cultivation that can explore cause and effect, and there are even great magical powers that can find people from the eternal river of cause and effect. The Ghost Immortal lamp has been able to survive until now, so it must have the ability to shield the cause and effect relationship with the Ghost Immortal sect. Chapter 779 Ling Pengyun's Way. This person's character is quite good. He can actually think of this step. The spirit of the weapon that had never appeared heard what Ling Pengyun said, and secretly praised it in his heart. Then, it slowly replied. Before the nascent soul, I can use magic to block the cause and effect between you and my sect, but when you enter the nascent soul, the cause and effect between you and my sect will be deeper. With my current serious injury, it is difficult to block the cause and effect between you and my sect. After hearing this, Ling Pengyun also secretly breathed a sigh of relief. The nascent soul is a bit far away from him now. He has not even entered the golden core, so he naturally does not consider the matter of the nascent soul. As long as he enters the golden core, the Ghost Fairy lamp can cover up the cause and effect between him and the Ghost Fairy sect, and he will be satisfied. Then, he asked again. That's good, Senior. I dare to ask one last question. What is the strength of the righteous forces that destroyed the remaining forces of your Ghost Fairy sect back then? Which righteous forces are they? When it comes to this, the Ghost Fairy lamp spirit is a little angry. That group of rats is just a group of Yuanying forces. Back then, if my sect had not suffered heavy losses in destroying the Burning Demon Fire Phoenix clan, how could those rats at the Yuanying level dare to be rampant in front of my sect? As for those forces, there are 3, namely the Extreme Cold Immortal sect, Piaoi Pavilion, and Zuinelan. Royal family, in this Hongzhaoziuxin world. Do you know what the three trash are doing now? After saying that, the spirit of the weapon added a sentence. More than 130,000 years ago, I lost consciousness after hiding in this barren Hongzhaoziuxin world and gradually fell asleep. It was not until thousands of years ago that I woke up. Back then, in order to condense the ghost bane here, I spent a lot of essence. I wanted to use the ghost energy produced by this ghost bane to slowly heal my wounds, so I have been sleeping. If it weren't for your extraordinary talent this time, I wouldn't have forced myself to wake up and talk to you. Therefore, I don't know much about the outside world. Ling Pengyun frowned when he heard this. Then he also spoke. Senior, I have never heard of the name of Piao Pavilion, but the names of Jihan Xianzong and Zuinitun royal family are well known in several immortal cultivation circles today. According to the information my family has searched for in the major immortal cultivation circles in recent years, Jihan Xianzong is the strongest of these two forces. However, this sect is not in this Hongzhao immortal cultivation world now, but in the far north immortal cultivation world. Although I don't know the strength of this sect is praised by the world as the #1 force among the three forces of righteousness, demons and monsters in the far north immortal cultivation world. I'm afraid that this sect is terribly powerful, and the Zuinitun royal family is still in this Hongzhao immortal cultivation world. Although its strength is a little worse, it is not weak. It is rumored that this family has 4 nascent souls. Even in the prosperous and vast Hongzhao immortal cultivation world, this family can be ranked among the top 5 among the countless righteous forces. As early as after the end of the war between righteousness and demons in Yuan Kingdom, Ling Pengyun, the strongest of the Ling family, had inquired about some common information about the rest of the immortal cultivation world through various channels, and he also kept this information in the family. Although Ling Pengyun is now a ghost cultivator and cannot leave the ghost bane for a long time, the star gold sword move he created has not been completed yet. He has always been concerned about this and wants to travel outside to get inspiration for creating sword moves. Therefore, he is also quite envious of other immortal cultivation worlds outside the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world and wants to go and see them. For this reason, he has also read all the information about the immortal cultivation worlds collected by Ling Pengyun early. At this time, the weapon spirit seemed to be even more angry, and it also said angrily, "It's really unfair." But after saying that, it lost its temper and was in a very low mood. These forces are so strong, and I am seriously injured. There is no 4th level ghost bane to help. Even if I come for another tens of thousands of years, I am afraid that my injuries will not be fully healed. I don't know when I can help the sect and live up to the trust of the master when he passed away. Then, it saw Ling Pengyun's difficult expression, and it also guessed what Ling Pengyun was thinking, so it spoke out. My friend, I also know your difficulties, and I will not force you to take on the task of supporting my sect. But you have already obtained some inheritance from my sect, and you owe my sect a favor. And over the years, I have also accumulated an array of middle-grade ghost fairy light, which can help you enter the path of golden elixir. If you can succeed, I hope that you will consider this cause and effect and the previous favor and face, and when you see the people from the 3 major forces that are the enemies of my sect in the future and have the right opportunity, you can help me kill the 3 golden elixirs from these 3 major forces. In addition, take me to travel around the world of immortal cultivation and find a suitable successor for me. Of course, if you are willing to take over the cause and effect of all the inheritance of my sect, all the magical powers and secrets of my sect, and even some of the resources that my sect hid in the dark in the early years, will all belong to you, but you will have more things to bear. And by then it will not be as simple as just helping me kill the 3 golden elixirs from the 3 major forces. But, I can guarantee that as long as you are willing to take over this inheritance, your chances of entering the nascent soul in the future will be at least 30%. I don't know, what is your choice, young friend? Ling Pengyun's eyes suddenly lit up when he heard these words. 2 opportunities, one strong and one weak. Even if the weak one has the hope of stabilizing the golden cordeo. And if he agreed to take over the inheritance of the Ghost Immortal sect, the stronger opportunity he got would allow him to touch the path of the nascent soul. The nascent soul realm is enough to challenge the strongest level of the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. If he can reach this realm, he can intervene in the direction of the righteous forces in the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. But, if this is true, he is afraid that he will also stand on the opposite side of the extreme cold immortal sect and the Xuanyan royal family. These two forces are two behemoths in front of him and the Ling family. Even if he can enter the nascent soul, I am afraid that the two forces can destroy him with a wave of their hands. Ling Penxing's thoughts are so complicated. But this makes his Tao heart a little unstable. He is on the path of the sword that cuts through everything. But now, there is a better way, but he dare not take it. This is against his heart. If I don't break through, with my current situation, I have no hope of reaching the nascent soul in this life. Thinking of this, the sword energy surrounding Ling Penxing suddenly became more fierce. He also confirmed his own ideas, and then he replied, "Senior, I will take over the inheritance of the Ghost Immortal sect. But, this matter is dangerous, and I am not the only one behind me. It is useless to simply cover it up. I wonder if you can help me cut off the cause and effect between me and my clan in the future. If I have the opportunity to enter the nascent soul in the future, or if my identity is known in advance by people from the nascent soul major sects such as the extreme cold immortal sect and the Xuanyan royal family, it will be difficult for them to involve the family behind me through the long river of cause and effect. This way, it will be much more convenient. Things have changed, and this matter of cause and effect has become more important, and it cannot be solved by covering it up." Seeing that Ling Penxing agreed to take over the inheritance, the spirit of the weapon also felt better. The northern wilderness immortal cultivation world is extremely remote. It was only developed by humans 10,000 years ago. Today, the ghost cultivators here are extremely rare, and there are only a few of them. Among them, it has not seen anyone with talent comparable to Ling Penxing in the thousands of years since it woke up. Of course, this is also because it has not seen many ghost cultivators. In addition, it watched Ling Penxing turn to ghost cultivation step by step. Over the years, it has been with Ling Penxing and is very familiar with Ling Penxing. It knows Ling Penxing inside and out. If such people were placed in the ghost immortal sect back then, they could also be cultivated as their own people and be regarded as confidants. Then, the spirit of the weapon spoke. "It is not difficult for me to sever the cause and effect. I also master this technique. However, I am seriously injured now. There is no natural high-level ghost vein in the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. The second-level ghost vein in this valley was hundreds of years ago. Its origin has been restored a little, and it has been condensed by gathering the surrounding thin ghost energy. Relying on that ghost vein, my strength has only recovered to the level of golden core perfection. But after my strength recovers to the level of nascent soul, I can sever the cause and effect between you and your clan." Ling Penxing asked, "Senior, is there any way to speed up your recovery?" Chapter 780 Various inheritances appear in the world. The weapon spirit said, "Yes, but when I followed my master to fight a fire phoenix of the burning demon fire phoenix clan tens of thousands of years ago, I was almost burned to ashes by the fire of the fire phoenix. I also suffered irreversible injuries. Later, I fought with the unioning of the three major forces of the extreme cold immortal sect, and my injuries worsened. At that time, I was about to die. Even after spending nearly tens of thousands of years, I have only recovered 10% of my injuries. And if you want to speed up recovery, the simplest way is to put me on a high-level ghost vein to absorb ghost energy to recover, but even with this method, it will take at least 1,000 years for me to slowly heal my injuries and recover to the Yuanying stage. Another shortcut is to find a large amount of third-level ghost spirit iron for me, plus a piece of fourth-level top-grade Xuanyan ghost iron as the core, and let me recast it myself. In less than 100 years, I can recover some of my injuries. Ordinary third-grade ghost spirit iron is relatively easy to find. Our sect has it in a secret vault in a dark place in the Hongxiao immortal cultivation world. But when our sect was conquered, I used a formation to seal the place directly in the void to prevent it from being discovered by outsiders. Even if I use that formation again, it will be difficult to find it back. And that place is a small secret realm. Only a fourth-grade formation can be used to break it open, but that fourth-grade Xuanyan ghost iron is also a superior existence among the fourth-grade ghost spirit irons. It is extremely rare. Back then, our sect's quasi-fifth-grade ghost vein accompanied the ghost pond, which could produce a piece of this iron every 10,000 years or so. But when the sect was broken, I detonated that ghost vein with a formation, to prevent those three bastards from the Jihon immortal sect from getting our sect's ghost vein. Ling Penxing frowned even more when he heard this, But he did not change his mind about taking the opportunity from the Ghost Immortal sect. Since he had decided to embark on this dangerous but promising road, he would not turn back. At most, before the nascent soul stage, he would not step into this Hongzhouziuxin world and the Jibiziuxin world except for searching for the secret library left by the Ghost Immortal sect. If there was a chance to try to break through the nascent soul stage, he would wait for the Ghost Immortal lamp to recover to the nascent soul stage before trying to break through. In this way, he would not involve the family that had cultivated him for many years. Afterwards, the Ghost Immortal lamp spirit and Ling Pengyun concluded a special restriction. This restriction only had the effect of positioning. In the future, the Ghost Immortal lamp could also use this restriction to find Ling Pengyun's traces at will, and could remove this restriction at will. Then, it also took out all the inheritance of the Ghost Immortal sect, and countless neatly arranged classics appeared in the space of dozens of feet inside the Ghost Immortal lamp. Taking out any of them would be enough to amaze the ghost cultivators in the other Zeuxin worlds, and even attract them to snatch them. What's more, there are 5 supernatural powers and a great supernatural power Ghost Immortal Possession Technique. Great supernatural power is a powerful supernatural power that is stronger than the superior supernatural power. It is said that mastering such great supernatural power is even powerful enough to fight against the enemy of a higher realm. And such great supernatural power level treasures are pitifully rare even in the entire Northern Wilderness Immortal Cultivation world, and will not exceed the two-handed technique. Legend has it that the 5 elements pure yang treasure thunder, which is a collection of 5 single attribute pure yang supernatural power treasure thunder techniques, is a great supernatural power of this level. And this Ghost Immortal Possession Technique is also extremely powerful, which can be exchanged for Ghost Immortal Possession, allowing the cultivator's strength to increase several times in a short period of time. However, the requirements for performing this technique are also extremely high. This technique can only be performed by ghost cultivators, and only after entering the nascent soul stage can one have the ability to comprehend this technique, and only when reaching the god transformation stage can the power of this technique be fully exerted. In addition, all kinds of ghost arts and secret arts of the golden core and nascent soul realms, as well as various 4th level 100 arts inheritances, are available here, and there are also a few righteous and other magic arts. There's even a 5th level 100 arts inheritance here, which is a weapon refining inheritance. The Ghost Immortal Sect's Ghost Immortal Treasure Book, which can directly reach the middle stage of the spiritualization realm, is also among them. However, the weapon spirit has kept a hand, and most of the inheritances are just introductions, or incomplete. Even the Ghost Immortal Treasure Book only has the initial chapter of the Golden Core. As for the subsequent inheritances, only Ling Pengyun can get them after his cultivation breaks through to a higher level. The weapon spirit was afraid that if Ling Pengyun was given all the benefits at once, Ling Pengyun would not listen. Ling Pengyun didn't care about it. At this moment, he was carefully reading the top-notch and superior martial arts, the Ghost Immortal Treasure Book, the initial chapter of the Golden Core. After reading it, he was very surprised. This Ghost Immortal Treasure Book is several times stronger than the superior technique he is currently practicing, the Ink Ghost Mysterious Origin Treasure Book. If he can switch to that technique, the ghost power in the ghost pill in his body can be at least several times purer, and his strength can also be indirectly improved. Moreover, through this treasure book, one can also cultivate a pseudo-ghost mysterious treasure body, which can increase the probability of entering the golden pill realm by 10%. The various secret techniques attached to it are also particularly powerful. It's a pity that this technique is too complicated and it is difficult to switch to practice in a short period of time. Now it is close to the Monster Beast Chaos, so I can only wait until the Monster Beast Chaos is over before switching to practice. Ling Pengyun secretly regretted it. Then, he put down the technique in his hand and turned to ask the spirit of the weapon. "Senior, I wonder if I can pass on some of these inheritances to my clan." The spirit of the weapon was silent for a while before speaking. "It's useless for me to keep these inheritances. Apart from the Ghost Immortal Manual, the 5th level weapon refining inheritance that I will give to you after you enter the Golden Core stage in the future, and the great magical power and other core of my sect, if your clan wants the rest of the inheritance, just take it. But I don't recommend it. Once your clan gets too much inheritance from my clan, the cause and effect between us will be stronger. And the size of a family is much larger than you. By then, even if I enter the nascent soul stage, I'm afraid it will be difficult to use the cause-severing technique to sever the cause and effect between our clan and your clan. In my opinion, given that your family currently has few ghost cultivators, it will be useless even if you take most of our ghost inheritance. Instead, it will only increase the cause and effect with our clan. Instead of doing that, it's better to wait until your clan has a ghost cultivator with strong qualifications, and then bring him into my lamp so that I can choose a suitable inheritance for him. As for the inheritance of the 100 arts, most of them are related to my ghost way, and there are very few related to the righteous way. However, they are also somewhat helpful to the righteous 100 arts practitioners of your clan. If the 100 arts practitioners of your clan need it, it would be better to let them bear the cause and effect and accept the inheritance alone. In this way, the cause and effect between your clan and my sect will be transformed from the entire clan to individuals. At that time, as long as the members of your clan take less inheritance, even if I use the art of cutting the cause with my current cultivation, I can easily cut off this cause and effect. Ling Pengyun heard this and nodded slightly, agreeing to this method. Then, he said hello to the ghost fairy lamp, and left the ghost fairy lamp and went out to the outside world. At this moment, Ling Pengyun also saw the ghost fairy lamp floating in front of him directly merge into his body and into his sea of consciousness. Because he knew the details of the ghost fairy lamp, he didn't care about it. However, this move surprised the two ghost cultivators in the early stage of foundation building and the spider monster in the middle stage of foundation building who had been waiting outside. They had known about the existence of the ghost fairy lamp for decades, and this was the first time they saw that the ghost fairy lamp could be integrated into Ling Pengyun's body. However, seeing that Ling Pengyun did not have any abnormalities or reactions, everything was normal. They just thought that the strange movement of the ghost fairy lamp was because Ling Pengyun's cultivation level had been raised to the perfect foundation building, thus stimulating the ghost fairy lamp's other effects. The three of them also said respectfully to Ling Pengyun at this moment, "Congratulations, Master, for successfully entering the realm of perfect foundation building." Among them, the ghost cultivator Wang Shi, who looked older in the early stage of foundation building, was even more flattering, and smiled at Ling Pengyun. "Master, you are truly a gift from heaven. In no time, you will be able to enter the golden elixir path and live a carefree life from now on. Don't say these nonsense anymore. The monster rebellion is coming. You should practice hard and try to break through one more realm within a year." Ling Pengyun only responded indifferently and left the cave and even the Ghost Star Valley. The old ghost cultivator Wang Shi and his pretty ghost cultivator granddaughter Wang Li beside him, although they had already known that the monster rebellion was coming, they were a little panicked when they heard it. But the ghost spider had a face full of fighting spirit and was not afraid at all. Instead, it was looking forward to it. It was still speaking human words, muttering, "The war is coming. At that time, there will definitely be countless powerful monsters participating in the war. I haven't eaten the essence of the perfect foundation building monsters for a long time. I miss the taste a little." While it was talking, a lot of sticky saliva flowed out of its ferocious mouth. Chapter 781, The Effect of the Light of the Golden Elixir Spirit. Seeing this, the old ghost cultivator Wang Shi and the pretty ghost cultivator Wang Li showed a touch of envy on their faces. They had never tasted the soul of a perfect foundation building monster. Even the soul of a monster in the late stage of foundation building, the two ghosts had only tasted it once. For ghost cultivators, spirit is good medicine. Even if the spirit of a monster is much weaker than the spirit of a cultivator of the same level, the power of the spirit of a monster in the late stage of foundation building and perfect is not weak enough to improve their cultivation. It's just a pity that the two of them are mediocre in strength. At most, they rely on the advantage of the pure ghost power brought by the superior Moji Yuan Yuan treasure book they practiced, which makes them a few points stronger than ordinary cultivators of the same level. At this moment, the old ghost cultivator Wang Shi also came to the front of the spider monster and said to it earnestly, "Master Ghost Shadow, you are extremely powerful, but my granddaughter and I are not strong enough. The monster rebellion is extremely dangerous. Please protect me and my granddaughter during the monster rebellion. As long as you agree, I and my granddaughter can keep 70% of all the monster souls obtained during the monster rebellion for you." The ghost shadow beat at the peak of the middle stage of foundation building gradually showed a greedy look on its face after hearing this, and then it also responded, "Okay, I'll take care of this. However, this is under the premise of not delaying the master's important matters. If it delays the master's important matters, I will not make this agreement. The old ghost cultivator Wang Shi at the early stage of foundation building looked happy and nodded repeatedly. Of course, the master's business is more important. Then, the old ghost cultivator Wang Shi at the early stage of foundation building, the pretty female ghost cultivator Wang Li, and the ghost spider all sat cross-legged on the ground, absorbing the ghost energy here and began to practice. These three were the grandfather and grandson of Wang Shi, who were subdued by Ling Pengyun on the ghost veins he found on the border between Yan State and Chen State where the Ling family was located, and the ghost spider that mastered the art of spiritual attack. The ghost spider was extraordinary in itself, and was a rare monster. In addition, this monster was supported by the Ling family's beastmaster and resources, as well as the pure ghost energy in the ghost fairy lamp, so its cultivation speed was extremely fast. The grandfather and grandson of Wang Shi were able to enter the Tao with the help of the Mogazuinun treasure book, so their aptitude was not too bad. Over the years, the grandfather and grandson have been dedicated to Ling Pengyun, so Ling Pengyun gave them a ghost foundation spiritual object each. The grandfather and grandson were also lucky, and both entered the foundation realm at once. However, after entering the foundation, the cultivation speed of the two grandfathers and grandsons slowed down, and now they are only at the first or second level of the foundation. On the other side, the Ling family's land, the top of Lingxiao Mountain. In a cave. I didn't expect that this treasure actually contains the inheritance of the power of transformation. Ling Pengyun looked at the ghost fairy lamp in Ling Pengyun's hand with excitement and fiery eyes. He was rarely out of control and exclaimed. Just now, Ling Pengyun roughly described that the ghost fairy lamp was actually a 5th level spiritual treasure, but it was now seriously injured, and it lived up to its former glory, and that this ghost lamp also carried the inheritance of the ghost fairy sect. After a long while, he calmed down. His face was also filled with countless joy, and then he spoke to Ling Pengyun. Brother Peng, you are really lucky to have such an inheritance. You have finally reaped the rewards of your hard work. You suffered in the first half of your life. In the second half of your life, it is time for you to write a brilliant chapter in this world of immortal cultivation. As for the inheritance of the ghost immortal sect, it is good, but according to the current situation, it is really not easy for the family to take more. Just do as the senior spirit of the weapon said. As for helping Senior Ghost Lantern recover from his injuries, I will do my best to help. If I can break the 4th level forbidden formation of the Ghost Immortal Sect in the secret library of this Hongxiao Immortal Cultivation world, I will try my best to find it through the family channels. Ling Pengyun was delighted when he heard this, and then he bowed to Ling Pengyun to thank him. Thank you very much, brother. This time, he will tell Ling Pengyun about the Ghost Immortal Lamp carrying the inheritance of the Ghost Immortal Sect. In addition to wanting to repay the family that has supported his cultivation over the years, he also wants to use the powerful family's hands to open the secret vault of the Ghost Immortal Sect in this Hongxiao world, which is located in a small secret realm, as soon as possible, so as to obtain the resources of the treasure house. Previously, he heard from the spirit of the Ghost Immortal Lamp that the resources in it were enough for him, a ghost cultivator, to break through the nascent soul stage. This matter is extremely important. What's more, there are a lot of 3rd-level ghost spirit iron in it, which can be used to restore some of the original injuries of the Ghost Immortal Lamp. It doesn't matter. Since the family wants to obtain the inheritance carried by the treasure lamp, it is natural to pay some. By the way, Brother Pengyun, what is the Ghost Immortal Light that the Ghost Immortal Lamp Senior promised to give you a golden elixir spirit object that will help you break through the golden elixir with a 30% probability? Ling Pengyun waved his hand. The light of the Ghost Immortal is a mysterious light, and only Senior Ghost Immortal Lamp can nurture it. And that Senior Ghost Immortal Lamp was able to condense this kind of precious light. It is said that it was because the Ghost Immortal Daojin Senior, who is in the God Transformation realm of the Ghost Immortal Sect, used a quasi-5th level ghost refining treasure pond with the power of creation as the main material to refine it. That is why Senior Ghost Immortal Lamp's main function is to cultivate ghost cultivators and ghost creatures. It is a kind of ghost-absorbing creature, and its actual combat power is not strong. I also relied on Senior Ghost Immortal Lamp's ability to absorb ghost energy and purify it on its own, so my cultivation has been so fast over the years. In addition, according to Senior Ghost Immortal Lamp, when it was victorious, it cultivated a ghost creature in the God Transformation realm, and several nascent soul ghost creatures, and even more golden core ghost creatures. It's a pity that the ghost creatures cultivated by the ghost immortal lamp were all killed by the burning demon fire phoenix clan in the battle when the demon Dao destroyed the burning demon fire phoenix clan tens of thousands of years ago. As for the ghost immortal light, it can be divided into 3 levels, lower, middle and upper, which can help cultivators break through the foundation establishment, golden core and nascent soul stages with a 30% chance respectively. However, because Senior Ghost Immortal is now injured and his strength is only 1/10 of what it was. This means that it can only condense lower and middle grade Ghost Immortal light at best, and to absorb enough ghost energy and condense these 2 qualities of Ghost Immortal light, it takes 3 years and 100 years respectively, but this Ghost Immortal light can only be used by ghost cultivators, and is of no use to righteous cultivators. At first, Ling Pengyun was very happy. But after hearing that the Ghost Immortal lamp could no longer breed high-grade Ghost Immortal light, and that the Ghost Immortal light could not be used by righteous cultivators, he was immediately disappointed. His cultivation base is now as high as the 6th level of the Golden Core. He still has a 3rd level middle-grade miasma-breaking treasure pill creation purple cloud pill purchased from the meteorite sea auction in his hand. He only needs to spend time to improve his cultivation base to the peak of the 6th level of the Golden Core. Then he can use the treasure pill to try to break through the 7th level of the Golden Core. With the power of the treasure pill, it is a foregone conclusion that he will enter the 7th level of the Golden Core. In this way, he is not far from the nascent soul realm. In addition, the family is in a period of talent explosion, and it is a time when there is a lack of Golden Core spiritual objects. Under such circumstances, he naturally hopes that the Ghost Fairy lamp can breed the light of the top-grade Ghost Fairy and that the righteous cultivators can use it. It's just a pity that things are not going as planned. But it's good too, at least with Senior Ghost Immortal lamp, the ghost cultivators of our clan will have one more way out. However, there are not many ghost cultivators in the family now. There are only a dozen or so, and they are all those clan members who have not much time left to live and have switched to the ghost path. Their talents are not high, and they don't have much knowledge of the great ways. Brother Pengsing, does Senior Ghost Immortal lamp have a way to detect whether the righteous cultivators have ghost talents? Ling Pengyun asked. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 782 Ghost Hall Development Plan. Nowadays, the magic paths in several cultivation worlds have lost a lot of high-level inheritances due to the tragic battle tens of thousands of years ago, resulting in a shortage of branches of the magic paths such as the Ghost Path and the Blood Path. There are more magic cultivators in the mainstream magic path, basically all over the cultivation world. In the Northern Wilderness cultivation world, which has just been opened up by the human race for only 10,000 years, there are only a handful of ghost cultivators. It is said that there are several pseudo-ghost forces at the golden elixir level in the demon domain in the east of the Northern Wilderness cultivation world, but these forces are just ghost control, and they still practice the orthodox magic method. There are not many real ghost cultivators in the sect. It can be said that there is basically no high-level inheritance in the ghost path in the Northern Wilderness cultivation world. Under such circumstances, even if the Ling family has spent a lot of effort over the years, they have not found many ghost inheritances, and naturally there is no method to test whether a cultivator has ghost qualifications. That senior has great means, so he naturally knows how to detect whether a cultivator has the aptitude to be a ghost. However, that senior's injuries have not healed yet, and after meeting me, he continued to sleep to heal his wounds. He was not willing to use such a method that consumes ghost power. However, before that senior fell asleep, he passed on several of the 100 arts to me. Among them, the 3rd level inferior ghost cultivation formation inheritance did record a formation called the ghost testing array, which also has the effect of testing ghost aptitude. This formation is divided into 3 levels, and its effectiveness is actually not much different from the spirit testing array. The higher the grade of this formation, the more detailed the test of ghost aptitude is. In theory, the 2nd level ghost testing array is enough, but the 3rd level ghost testing array has the effect of identifying some ghost spirits, which is also a huge use. It just needs to be arranged by a formation master. There is another kind of ghost testing stone with weaker effectiveness, and its effectiveness is not much different from that of the spirit testing stone. It can only roughly detect whether mortals and cultivators have the aptitude to be a ghost. Ling Pengyun replied. With this ghost detecting formation and the ghost detecting stone, our clan's ghost cultivation has a foundation, and it will be easier to search for ghost talents. In addition, Senior Qingshi Mountain is willing to share some of the ghost cultivation techniques with my clan for your sake. The foundation of our clan's ghost cultivation is no less than the righteous inheritance accumulated by our clan for hundreds of years. I will ask Pengyun to set up the ghost detecting formation as soon as possible. After it is set up, I will let the cultivators with poor spiritual root aptitude go to the formation for testing one by one. If the ghost aptitude is stronger than the spiritual root aptitude, the clan will persuade them to escape into the ghost way. As for the clan members with good spiritual root aptitude, they will have good development even if they take the righteous path. The family is a righteous force, so they will not interfere in the affairs of the ghost way. In the future, I will arrange for people to use the ghost detecting stone to test the children whose spiritual roots are detected in the family every year. Thinking that through this method, the family can have more ghost cultivators in the future. Ghost qualifications are different from spiritual root qualifications. Even mortals without spiritual roots may have ghost qualifications. In this way, the family has the help of ghost cultivators, and the family's strength can be strengthened. And with the development of ghosts, there will be more and more ghost cultivators in the family. Taking this opportunity, we should also secretly set up a ghost hall in the family. Brother Pengyun, you are the first ghost cultivator in our family. Are you willing to serve as the head of this hall? Ling Pengyun said happily. Ghost qualifications are different from spiritual root qualifications. Ghost qualifications are determined by the soul. The grandfather and grandson of Wang Shi, who were under the two ghost servants of Ling Pengyun, were mortals without spiritual roots before. However, because of their special souls and the help of the ghost fairy lamp, they became ghost cultivators. The affairs of the hall are of great importance. Once the ghost hall is established, it will be linked with the other halls of the family. The fact that there is a ghost cultivator in the family will inevitably spread. Isn't this too blatant? If other righteous forces in the northern wilderness immortal cultivation world know about it, they will probably be hostile to the family, Ling Pengyun said worriedly. It doesn't matter. As long as the ghost cultivators of our clan are not like those ghost cultivators in the outside world, who wantonly kill mortals and cultivators and absorb their souls as food, we won't be afraid. Those big forces will find it difficult to find any clues and come to our clan to ask for punishment. Our clan now is not the Ling family of the past. As long as the Yin-Yang forces don't come out, our Ling family can protect itself. And which of the Yin-Yang forces in the northern wilderness's immortal cultivation world is clean? The overlord of the Yuan kingdom, the Yin-Yang force, the Li family, defeated the Yindu sect, and the mortals under the Yindu sect disappeared without a trace within a short month. After that, in just a few years, the Li family gave birth to several golden elixirs one after another. You know, the Li family spent a lot of resources to recruit helpers during the war between good and evil. After the war, even if they plundered the wealth of the Yindu sect, this sect is a demon sect after all, and there are few righteous spiritual objects in it. The resources consumed by the Li family are simply difficult to make up. Under such circumstances, it is extremely difficult for the Li family to continuously cultivate so many golden elixirs in a short period of time. After saying that, Ling Pengyun added one more sentence. If our Ling family wants to develop quickly, we can only take these crooked ways. In the early years, if I had mastered the art of corpse refining, which belongs to the path of the devil, I am afraid that the family would not be as prosperous as it is now. After hearing this, Ling Pengyun was shocked. He had been in seclusion in the family's ghost bane for many years and was not very clear about the outside world. Brother Pengyun, what you mean is that the Li family, a large Yin-Yang family, uses mortals to refine magic elixirs and spiritual objects. Ling Pengyun did not say anything, but just looked at Ling Pengyun silently. When Ling Pengyun saw Ling Pengyun's look, his heart was suddenly overwhelmed. Using mortals to refine elixirs is a great sin, and the devil cultivators are listed as mortal enemies by the righteous cultivators for this reason. After all, mortals are the foundation of the righteous cultivators. If the mortal cultivators are killed by those devil cultivators, the decline of the righteous cultivators is only a matter of time. I didn't expect that the Li family would be so bold. Ling Pengyun sighed. It's not about being brave or not. The other Yin-Yang forces have basically done this, and they all know it, but no one dares to point it out. The word right is determined by the strong. As long as my clan is prosperous, it doesn't matter if there are more ghost cultivators. But then again, if it weren't for the bloody practices of those Yin-Yang forces to enhance their own strength, I'm afraid that the righteous forces in my northern wilderness cultivation world would not be a match for the demons and monsters, and the northern wilderness cultivation world would probably have ceased to exist righteous cultivators. In terms of the righteousness of the northern wilderness cultivation world, what those Yin-Yang forces did was right. It's just that this matter is not good for those mortals who are powerless. Speaking of this, Ling Pengyun's tone became more firm. And if we don't want the mortals of our clan to fall to the point where they can only become human medicine, the only way to go is to keep the family strong. As long as our clan does not violate the name of the righteous path during its development, any path will lead to the same destination, and the devil cultivators can also be righteous. Let's not chat about this anymore. Are you willing to take the position of the head of the ghost hall? Although Ling Pengyun has refined a lot of devil corpses over the years, the corpses used for those devil corpses are all the corpses of his enemies, or the corpses of devil cultivators and the monsters of the enemy of the human race. Among them, the beast puppets refined from the corpses of monster beasts are the majority. This is also the reason why the Ling family has mastered the devil corpse refining methods, but has never been despised by the righteous cultivators. Even the Black Mountain Zhao family, a force under the Xiangxing sect, which is also a major Yin-Yang force, has commissioned the Ling family to help refine several golden elixir devil corpses. And if he is really like a devil cultivator, killing righteous golden elixirs everywhere for the purpose of refining corpses, I am afraid that he and even the Ling family behind him would have been destroyed long ago. After hearing what Ling Pengyun said, Ling Pengyun had some realizations in his heart. After a while, he nodded slightly and said, "Since the ghost cultivation will not affect the family, I am willing to take the position of the master of the ghost hall. But if this hall can grow and develop in the future, there will be many things in this hall, and I am not good at management. I hope that you, Brother Pengyun, can appoint a few more elders or deputy hall masters to help me manage this hall in the future." Although he has now inherited the Ghost Immortal sect and has formed a huge cause and effect with the Ghost Immortal sect, the spiritual treasure Ghost Immortal lamp can cover up this cause and effect before his nascent soul, and it will not bring any trouble to the family. In addition, he also plans to spend some time after the monster beast chaos to practice the Ghost Immortal sect stabilizing technique Ghost Immortal treasure book and other secret magic skills. Therefore, at least in the next few decades, he does not plan to leave the family. As for completing the Star Gold Sword manual through training, it can only be postponed. Chapter 783, Ancient Method of Refining Spiritual Plants. This is fine. Many of the hall masters of the family only play a deterrent role. The people who manage the halls are mostly the deacons or elders of the major halls. When the ghost hall is established in the future, I will let Cheng Yuan arrange the affairs of this hall. Ling Pengyun nodded and said. At this time, Ling Pengyun also spoke again. Brother Pengyun, I have one more favor to ask of you. Now that I have taken over the inheritance of the Ghost Immortal sect, I must also shoulder the cause and effect of supporting this sect. And the two existing enemy forces of this sect, the Jihon Immortal sect and the Zuinian Imperial family, are extremely powerful. It is still unknown whether I can enter the nascent soul stage in this lifetime, and there is even less hope of destroying these two families. Therefore, I plan to lay the foundation for the Ghost Immortal sect and recruit a group of ghost cultivators to rebuild the Ghost Immortal sect. In this way, even if it is difficult for me to help the Ghost Immortal sect with revenge in this lifetime, the force I have built can continue with the idea of destroying the Jihon Immortal sect and the Zuinian Imperial family. No matter whether the force I build will succeed in the future, at least it can be regarded as my determination to that senior Ghost Immortal lamp, and I am worthy of the inheritance of the Ghost Immortal sect. Of course, I will not use the ghost cultivators in the family's ghost hall to man this force, so as not to be involved in too many causes and effects with the family. I am thinking of searching for talents with ghost path qualifications who do not have family blood, and using them to establish a force. In this way, the cause and effect entanglement between the force I established and the family will not be too much, and it will be easier for Senior Ghost Fairy Lamp to use secret methods to cut off the cause and effect between the family and that force in the future. But talents with ghost path qualifications are rare. Even if there are simple spirit stones that can be used to search everywhere, this matter is too big and it is difficult for me to do it alone. Therefore, I want to use the power of the family to help search for ghost path talents outside the family. Ling Pengyun had already thought of this. After all, the ghost fairy lamp spirit promised the Ling family that as long as the Ling family had ghost path talents with better qualifications, they could enter the ghost fairy lamp and obtain the inheritance of the ghost fairy sect. Moreover, afterward, the ghost fairy lamp spirit would directly cut off the cause and effect between the ghost cultivator of the Ling family and the inheritance of the ghost fairy sect. Such things are a great benefit to the Ling family. And if you want to get benefits in vain without paying a price, it will naturally not work. This is also the sweetness that the ghost fairy lamp spirit gave to the Ling family. In addition, Ling Pengyun considered that Ling Penxing had mastered the skill of refining a simple test stone for testing the talent of the ghost way, and it would be convenient for the Ling family cultivators to search for people with the talent of the ghost way in the outside world, so he replied. The family can help with this matter, but the matter of testing the talent of the ghost way is a big deal. If this is carried out in the territory of other forces, it will inevitably attract the attention of those forces. At that time, our family's search for ghost seedlings will also be hindered. In my opinion, it is better to search for ghost seedlings and establish forces for the ghost immortal sect in the family territory, so that our family can control it. Although it is not easy for those mortals with families to participate in this matter, there are also many mortals under the foundation building and key training forces under our family. I think we can find some ghost seedlings from it. When the power you build is stronger in the future, you can go to the family independently, go to the Eastern Demon Realm, open a sect, and recruit more ghost seedlings. After hearing this, Ling Penxing's face lit up and he replied. Let's do it this way. Brother Pengyun, please take a quick look at those 2 inheritances to see if they are useful to you. Ling Pengyun nodded slightly, and then set his eyes on the 2 books in his hand that recorded the 3rd level lower grade refining of the ghost immortal sect and the inheritance of spiritual plants. These 2 inheritances were brought by Ling Penxing just now. Because of Ling Penxing's cultivation, the ghost immortal lamp only gave Ling Penxing the 3rd level lower grade inheritance of the ghost immortal sect's various arts. Only if he successfully entered the Golden Core Avenue and could bring more value to the ghost immortal lamp, he would have more authority, and the ghost immortal lamp spirit would also give him more high-level inheritances. And these inheritances were naturally used by the ghost immortal lamp spirit to rebuild the ghost immortal sect for Ling Penxing. At this time, as Ling Pengyun flipped through the 3rd level lower grade ghost immortal sect's refining inheritance and spiritual plant inheritance in his hand, the hate in his eyes gradually increased. After several hours, he reluctantly closed the 2 inheritances. Ling Penxing also asked Ling Pengyun curiously at this moment. Brother Pengyun, are those 2 inheritances useful to you? Ling Pengyun said with a smile. They are quite useful. Although these 2 inheritances are the inheritances of the Ghost Dao Ghost Immortal sect, most of the contents are about refining Ghost Dao magic tools, magic treasures, and cultivating Ghost Dao spiritual plans, but they also record many secret methods about refining righteous Dao magic tools, magic treasures, and cultivating righteous Dao spiritual plants. The most important thing is that these inheritances are the ancient methods lost in the world of immortal cultivation, and they are the source of the common inheritance of refining tools and spiritual plants today. Through the contents of the inheritance of righteous refining tools and spiritual plants, I can deepen my understanding of the 2 ways of refining tools and spiritual plants. Moreover, from the contents of those 2 inheritances, I think these 2 inheritances can be ranked among the top-notch inheritances. It's a pity that the fundamental methods of these 2 inheritances can only be comprehended by ghost cultivators of the 100 arts, and it is difficult for righteous cultivators like me to comprehend them. Otherwise, if I can directly comprehend these 2 inheritances, my power in refining tools and spiritual plants can be improved by at least several times. If I hadn't reached the Golden Core stage, I would have wanted to switch to the Ghost Path just based on these 2 inheritances. Brother Penxing, you are so lucky to have mastered so many profound inheritances. Although switching to the Ghost Path was a joke, if Ling Pengyun's cultivation was only at the level of key training or foundation building, he would definitely do it. You know, if he could switch to the Ghost Path, he would be able to obtain more than just these 2 inheritances of the Ghost Immortal sect. After all, Ling Penxing has obtained all the inheritances of the Ghost Immortal sect, and he also has the right to control those inheritances. As for selling those inheritances to cash in resources, Ling Pengyun dare not do it, not to mention whether the ghost immortal lamp in his sea of consciousness will kill him for this. You know, the ghost immortal sect is a force from tens of thousands of years ago, and the inheritance of this force is mostly ancient methods and the ghost path. Once it is spread, if the extreme cold immortal sect and the Xuanitun royal family know about it, they will definitely follow the clues and come to the door. It will be back then. I have this blessing. No matter how much I say, I have to thank you, Brother Pengyun. If you hadn't given me the opportunity to improve my qualifications after I switched to the ghost path, I would not have been able to show enough ghost talent to wake up the sleeping ghost fairy lamp spirit and get the inheritance of this sect. Ling Pengyun said gratefully. His ghost path qualifications were only barely good. If he was divided into 5 levels of cultivation qualifications for ghost cultivation according to the ghost path, Ling Pengyun's ghost path qualifications would probably be at the 3rd level. The 1st level is the strongest, and the 5th level is the worst. It is the same as the 5 spiritual root qualifications of the righteous cultivators. However, Ling Pengyun's ghost path qualifications are worse than his spiritual root qualifications, which are only equivalent to the 3 spiritual root qualifications of the cultivators. Originally, when he was still a righteous cultivator, he had 2 spiritual roots. However, decades ago, when he switched to the early stage of the ghost path, Ling Pengyun thought that it was not easy for Ling Pengyun to switch to the ghost path, so he gave him a breath of yin and yang Taichu Qi, which raised Ling Pengyun's ghost path qualifications to the 2nd level. And it is the best one among the 2nd level. Ling Pengyun also relied on this qualification, plus the generous support of various demon beast spirits in his family, and the effect of the ghost fairy lamp in purifying ghost energy. He himself was originally in the foundation building stage, and recultivating the ghost path was just a walk. This is why he has improved his cultivation to this level in just over 40 years. After all the great ways eventually lead to the same destination. Chapter 784 Ling Pengyun's hope of condensing the 5 elements golden pill. Ling Pengyun smiled and waved his hand. This is your own opportunity, brother. No need to thank me. Don't talk about that opportunity again in the future, so as not to be noticed. After all, we are not the only ones here. Ling Pengyun's expression moved, and he immediately thought of the ghost fairy lamp in his sea of consciousness. This matter is my fault. By the way, brother, you have also seen the ghost fairy sect's weapon refining and spiritual plant inheritance, and have also formed a cause and effect with the ghost fairy sect. Now, although you are around the ghost fairy lamp, you are protected by the secret technique performed by the ghost fairy lamp senior, but once you are far away from the ghost fairy lamp senior, if the cultivators from the extreme cold fairy sect and the Xuanitun royal family pay attention to the cause and effect of the ghost fairy sect, they will definitely notice your existence. It's better to cut it off to be safe, so as not to cause trouble. Ling Pengyun said with a bit of apology. Ling Pengyun's face was a little solemn, and he nodded slightly and replied. What you are thinking about makes sense. Is seeing your ghost fairy lamp free? Ling Pengyun said. I'll ask. Then, he mobilized his spiritual sense to probe into the ghost fairy lamp in his sea of consciousness, which was motionless. After a while, the ghost fairy lamp trembled, and flew out of his sea of consciousness, and stopped in front of Ling Pengyun in the outside world. However, the ghost fairy lamp remained motionless for a long time. Instead, it let out a light. What a pity. How come this person has watched my sect refine weapons and inherit spiritual plans, but has not formed any cause and effect with my sect in the long river of cause and effect? But before half a while, the ghost fairy lamp suddenly flashed a red light. 3 spiritual roots, no spiritual body, and he has entered the 6th level of the golden core at the age of 130, and he is not bound by the causal relationship. The lamp was thinking of the early years when it was with Ling Pengyun. When it was sleeping, it was suddenly startled by a breath of gas that Ling Pengyun gave Ling Pengyun, which it could hardly detect. Then, the ghost fairy lamp performed a technique to explore the luck. Suddenly, it saw that Ling Pengyun's luck was extremely strong, enough to match the luck of a Yuanying power, and it also gave birth to a special feeling. Under such circumstances, the ghost fairy lamp immediately came to a conclusion about the strange things about Ling Pengyun. This person must have a great opportunity that I can hardly detect, and his future path must be limitless. And this luck is strong. If we can take advantage of it, the hope of supporting our sect can be increased. Thinking of this, The ghost fairy lamp also said to Ling Pengyun very kindly, "My friend, there is an opportunity blocking your karma with my sect, so I don't need to cut it off. In the future, I will need your help in rebuilding my sect. I also know that you have mastered the method of refining corpses. This is a superior method of refining corpses collected by my sect. You can take a look at it. It should also help you in refining corpses. The other two books are the complete third-level refining and spiritual plant inheritance of my sect. You have that opportunity to protect you. Even if you have to inherit more of my sect, your karma will be covered up. Don't worry. Are you willing to read these 3 inheritances?" While speaking, the ghost fairy lamp flashed, and 3 streams of light flew out from its wick, turning into 3 thick books that appeared in front of Ling Pengyun. Ling Pengyun heard this, but he was not happy, but trembled in his heart. He has experienced 100 years of Taoism and can be regarded as an old Taoist. From the words of the ghost fairy lamp spirit just now, it is not difficult for him to hear that the opportunity that can cover up the karma mentioned by the ghost fairy lamp is the Yin-Yang Creation Sutra in his Sea of Consciousness. The Yin-Yang Taichu Sutra is his biggest secret. Without it, he would never have achieved what he has today. In the past, no one has ever been able to detect this thing. However, when he saw that the ghost fairy lamp had not made any other movement, and had taken the initiative to offer a superior corpse refining inheritance, and 2 complete weapon refining and spiritual plant inheritances, he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. This ghost fairy lamp wall is indeed a 5th-level spiritual treasure. It is the most powerful treasure in this area of the immortal world. It can actually detect the trace of the Yin-Yang Taichu Sutra. However, this matter is a warning to me. In the future, if you see spiritual treasures of this grade or a Taoist master of the divine transformation again, you must stay away from them. As for the 4th-level spiritual treasures at the level of the Yuanying Zhenjin and the Yuanying Zhenjin, it is estimated that it is difficult to detect the trace of the Yin-Yang Taichu Sutra. Otherwise, when the righteousness and the devil fought, the Yuanying Zhenjin and several 4th-level spiritual treasures that appeared would not have made any movement at that time. Ling Pengyun retracted his distracting thoughts and bowed to the ghost fairy lamp senior. "Thank you for the gift, senior ghost fairy lamp." Ghost fairy lamp said amiably, "My friend, you are so polite. My injuries have not yet recovered, so I will return to the sea of consciousness of my disciple Penxing. One more thing. I don't like to be disturbed while I am healing. In the future, if your clan has a ghost cultivator with a 3rd-level ghost path qualification or above and wants to obtain the inheritance of my sect, you can come to find disciple Penxing on the 1st day of every 3 years. I will wake up then." After saying that, ghost fairy lamp flew back to Ling Penxing's Sea of Consciousness. After Ling Penxing took over the inheritance of the ghost fairy sect, ghost fairy lamp accepted Ling Penxing as a disciple on behalf of its master, ghost fairy Daojin. The 2 also called each other master and disciple. And Ling Penxing followed and said to Ling Pengyun with a serious face, "Brother Pengyun, I plan to try to break through the golden elixir. I want to borrow the formation of my clan to resist the thunder tribulation." Ling Pengyun heard this, and the joy he originally had for accidentally obtaining 3 more inheritances of the ghost fairy sect suddenly disappeared. Then, he frowned and said to Ling Penxing, "Brother Penxing, this matter is a bit too hasty. As a major sect of the spiritualization sect, the ghost immortal sect must have various methods to help ghost cultivators break through the golden core. With your comprehension, it will be no problem to wait for some time to comprehend those methods. By then, you will have the help of the ghost immortal light that senior ghost immortal lamp has condensed to condense the golden core without any harm. The probability of you breaking through the golden core alone is very high, and condensing the superior golden core is basically a foregone conclusion. Maybe you still have the chance to condense the legendary 5 elements golden core, which is a few points stronger than the superior golden core. It is said that cultivators who condense the 5 elements golden core can at least increase their probability of reaching the nascent soul bottleneck by 10%, and even have a glimmer of hope to enter the nascent soul perfection realm or even the spiritualization realm. Although Ling Penxing was also tempted by this method, he could not wait any longer. The monster rebellion in a year will be extremely dangerous, and the family will be in crisis. I have been trained by the family over the years, and now that the family is in danger, I should naturally step up. If I don't enter the golden elixir, how can I help the family? Besides, I have already comprehended the method of tempering the spiritual consciousness that the ghost cultivators in the family can practice to perfection. The strength of my spiritual consciousness is comparable to that of a mid-stage golden elixir master, which can increase the probability of entering the golden elixir by 20%. I also have the Ghost Fairy Lantern of Senior Ghost Fairy Lantern and the opportunity you had in your early years. Even if I don't take the ordinary golden elixir spirit object Ghost Yin crystal prepared for me by the family, I still have a 60% chance of entering the golden elixir. I am also somewhat confident in condensing the superior golden elixir. As for wanting to condense the 5 elements golden elixir, it is extremely difficult. Even if I have comprehended the methods of the Ghost Fairy sect that can increase the probability of condensing the golden elixir, there is little chance of condensing it. Seeing Ling Penxing's determined look, Ling Pengyun knew that it would be difficult to persuade Ling Penxing, so he agreed to it. Then, he took Ling Penxing out of the clan land and headed for the Taoist Ridge in the Bayun Mountains. Although Ling Penxing was a ghost cultivator and had just completed his foundation, it was difficult for him to leave the ghost veins with rich ghost energy for a long time. However, after the Ghost Fairy Lamp entered a sea of consciousness, he found that the Ghost Fairy Lamp could continuously supply him with ghost energy, which greatly reduced his dependence on the ghost veins. However, cultivation still requires the help of ghost energy from the ghost veins. The ghost energy in the Ghost Fairy Lamp was also absorbed into the body by the Ghost Fairy Lamp spirit, which was used to recover from injuries. It was natural for Ling Penxing to give some of it to maintain his activities outside. But if there was no ghost vein to provide ghost energy, it would not be willing to share it with Ling Penxing if it simply relied on the ghost energy stored in it. After all, cultivation requires a lot of ghost energy. Chapter 785, One Sect, 6 Golden Pills. Several months passed. In the depths of the Bayun Mountains, in the Taoist Ridge, above the Taoist Valley, a large black cloud with thunder and lightning was gathering, basically covering the Taoist Valley, which covered several miles. The momentum was extremely huge. The power of thunder accumulated in the cloud was getting stronger and stronger. Ling Pengyun, who was outside the Taoist Valley, saw this scene and his eyes narrowed slightly. Looking at the movement of this calamity cloud, it is probably nearly twice as strong as the movement of the calamity thunder caused by ordinary cultivators who have condensed a superior golden elixir. I'm afraid that those third-level superior defense formations without defense arrays will find it difficult to withstand the 9 consecutive calamity thunders that will follow. However, this situation is also a bit strange. In 9 out of 10 cases, this matter is probably related to the hatred of heaven and earth against ghost cultivators. Otherwise, considering that Brother Penxing has only refined the souls of those monsters with low intelligence as nourishment in recent years, he would not have much resentment on his body, and the power of the thunder calamity he caused after condensing the golden elixir this time would not have increased so much. This branch of the demon path, the ghost path, is indeed the same as the other demon paths. It is a difficult road to walk. It is estimated that Brother Penxing will encounter the same situation as ordinary demon cultivators after entering the golden elixir, and the bottlenecks he encounters in the future will be a bit stronger than those of ordinary golden elixir cultivators. By then, it will be difficult for Brother Penxing to break through the realm as smoothly as before. The reconstruction of the Ghost Immortal sect must be fraught with difficulties. I wonder how far Brother Penxing can go in the future. However, for now, Brother Penxing is certain to enter the Golden Core stage. Together with Grandpa Yunhong, his wife, Brother Pengyun, Sister Penglin, and Brother Chengxin, our clan now has 6 Golden Cores. Thinking of this, Ling Pengyun couldn't help but sigh. The calamity cloud above the Stepping Cloud Valley was caused by Ling Penxing. A few months ago, after Ling Pengyun left the family with Ling Penxing, they came here. Ling Penxing, who was planning to try to break through the Golden Core stage, also entered the Stepping Cloud Valley, which had a 3rd-level upper-grade lightning destruction formation, to break through in seclusion. 9 days ago, Ling Penxing successfully condensed a drop of solidified liquid, which was the symbol of a Golden Core cultivator, thus triggering the Golden Core realm's spiritual energy infusion phenomenon. On the 2nd day of this phenomenon, Ling Penxing condensed a Golden Core. Although this golden elixir was of the lowest quality, under the spiritual tide of the spiritual energy that was caused by the spiritual energy infusion phenomenon, the quality of the golden elixir gradually improved. When the phenomenon ended, the quality of the golden elixir reached the highest level. Then, Ling Penxing, who was in seclusion in the Treading Cloud Valley, used this superior golden elixir to trigger the thunder. Ling Penxing was a cultivator of the same era as him. In their early years, the two of them had gone through many crises together, and the friendship between the two was also very deep. Therefore, now Ling Pengyun also had some sympathy for Ling Penxing, who is a ghost cultivator. After another half a day, the calamity cloud finally accumulated enough thunder power. With the sound of thunder, a huge thunder comparable to the full force of a second-level golden elixir cultivator suddenly broke through the black calamity cloud and fell with countless roars. However, just when the thunderbolt was about to fall into the treading cloud valley, the thunder-inducing destruction formation in the valley also showed its power, splitting into countless array patterns and directly absorbing the thunderbolt in the sky into the formation. The 8 thunderbolts were still the same afterwards. And the reason why the core of this formation, Lei Yuan Ling Tan, did not use thunderbolt to temper Ling Penxing's body was also for a reason. Strictly speaking, Ling Penxing is now a soul body, and the soul is most afraid of thunder, and is even more afraid of thunderbolts containing destructive power. He has not practiced ghost body tempering techniques such as the Nale body tempering method. Under such circumstances, if he uses thunderbolt to help him temper his body, it is tantamount to harming Ling Penxing. After everything settled, the cloud of thunder in the sky also turned into a piece of nectar to nourish Ling Penxing's body, promoting the solidified spiritual power in the superior golden elixir in his body, and running it all over his body. After a while, a strong golden elixir aura spread out from his body and swept all over. He also opened his eyes. He felt the power in his body that far exceeded that of the perfect foundation building. His cold face also showed a rare joy. This giant realm is indeed strong. Just my ghost power is nearly 10 times that of the perfect foundation building. After I stabilize my cultivation, my ghost power will definitely increase again. The next moment, a breeze blew by, and Ling Pengyun, who was waiting outside the treading cloud valley, also appeared in front of Ling Penxing. Congratulations to Brother Penxing for entering the Jinden Avenue. I wish you a long and prosperous future. Then, he patted the storage bag on his waist, summoned a long banner depicting 6 evil ghosts with strange animal skins and hair, and a soul-locking jade box, and handed them to Ling Penxing. This is the 3rd rank inferior ghost magic weapon, the Ghost Control Banner, that I used in my early years. This banner is the life magic weapon of a demon cultivator, and its quality can be regarded as the top inferior level. Even if you are not the original owner of this magic weapon and it is difficult to fully exert its power, this treasure can still burst out with power comparable to that of superior magic weapons of the same rank. In addition, there are also 6 golden elixir evil ghosts in this banner that I refined with the souls of golden elixir monsters in my early years, relying on the secret method of the 6 ghosts in one technique that comes with this banner. The combined strength of the 6 evil ghosts can also be transformed into golden elixir 2nd or 3rd level evil ghost, which is particularly powerful. But the 6 evil ghosts in the early stage of the golden elixir also have a disadvantage, that is, they are directly refined by souls, and their cultivation has been limited. Even if they swallow more souls in the future, it will be difficult for them to improve their cultivation and make further progress. When you broke through the Jinden stage before, you didn't use the Jinden spiritual object Yin-Han crystal and it was still empty. The other ghost cultivators in the family are far from the perfect foundation building, so it is difficult to use this object. This object is of no use for the time being. In my opinion, you can use the Yin-Han crystal to try to see if you can cultivate a Jinden ghost. If it works, you can also get a Jinden ghost with relatively good qualifications, which is much better than those Jinden ghosts directly refined from Jinden monsters or the souls of cultivators. This can also bring a great help to you. Ghosts that break through the Jinden stage normally can also be cultivated like cultivators, and can even give birth to spiritual wisdom and become ghost cultivators. After Ling Penxing thanked Ling Pengyun, he took over the ghost-controlling banner and the soul-locking jade box containing the Jinden spiritual object Yin-Han crystal. Although he got the inheritance of the Ghost Immortal sect, the Ghost Immortal lamp that gave him the inheritance was sleeping and healing, and would not appear unless necessary. The Ghost Fairy lamp did not carry any other ghost magic weapons, only the inheritance. However, tens of thousands of years ago, when the Ghost Fairy lamp encountered a crisis, it did bring out a lot of magic weapons, but tens of thousands of years later, those magic weapons had already decayed. Tens of thousands of years is a very long time, and only the 5th level spiritual treasures like the Ghost Fairy lamp can escape the baptism of time and survive. The 5th level spiritual treasures are rare, and even the Ghost Fairy sect only has the Ghost Fairy lamp. Afterwards, Ling Pengyun stayed in the Treading Cloud Valley to offer sacrifices to the long banner of controlling ghosts, and prepared to use the ordinary golden elixir spirit object Yinhan crystal to assist an evil ghost in the banner of controlling ghosts to try to attack the golden elixir as soon as possible. After all, the monster beast chaos is approaching. At that time, if the evil ghost can condense the golden elixir, it can also use the formation in the Treading Cloud Valley to survive the thunder tribulation. Ling Pengyun returned to the Lingxiao Mountain of the clan. However, as soon as he entered the mountain, he found that the family elder Ling Pengyun was waiting in the mountain. Chapter 786 Ling Pengyun's idea of fake pill. Just by looking at it, he found a change in Ling Pengyun's aura, and he said with a little surprise, "You kid has finally entered the realm of perfect foundation building, not bad, not bad. Are you here to ask me for the golden elixir spiritual object to try to break through the golden elixir?" Ling Pengyun said with a little helplessness. Yes, and no. Uncle Yunhong is not as comprehension as Brother Changzin. Over the years, no matter whether it is the family's Zhuanyang divine consciousness refining method or the Zhuanyang meridian refining method, I have not yet comprehended to the 7th level, and have not mastered the divine consciousness and meridians of the golden core realm. Moreover, I have just entered the perfect foundation establishment. If I try to break through the golden core by myself, there is no chance of success. The family now has only one ordinary golden core spirit object Zhuanshan water, one second-class golden core spirit object pulse protection pill, and 2 pseudo-Jidan liquids. In addition to the 2 pseudo-Jidan liquids that cannot be used together, even if the other 2 golden core spirit objects are added, I only have a 20% chance of entering the golden core at most. The probability of success is extremely low, and there is a great risk of failure. And time can't wait for me to comprehend the divine consciousness and meridian quenching method. I am thinking about giving up the attempt to break through the golden core alone, and instead taking the golden core of the golden core monster. Achieving the fake core realm, the fund will be fast. The family now has no monster beast golden elixir in stock, so I need to trouble you, Uncle Pengyun, to help me find a monster beast golden elixir in the future. Ling Pengyun was surprised when he heard this. Most people don't have the courage to give up the opportunity to break through the golden elixir and choose the false elixir realm. These 2 choices are one in the sky and one on the ground. However, when Ling Pengyun thought of Ling Pengyun's steady temperament since he was a child, he could understand Ling Pengyun's current thoughts. Refining the monster's golden elixir and achieving the realm of false elixir is indeed a steady method. However, once you enter the realm of false elixir, you will no longer have any way to go. And the family now has many golden elixir cultivators, and the golden elixir combat power is also not small. Even if you really become the false elixir realm, it will be useless for the family to have one more weak false elixir cultivator. If you change your mind and plan to try to condense the golden elixir and enter the realm of the golden elixir, you can take the family's golden elixir spiritual objects. But if you still plan to refine the false elixir and have no intention of condensing the golden elixir, this matter will be abandoned. You can rest assured to comprehend the family's method of spiritual consciousness and meridian tempering. After your spiritual consciousness and meridians have entered the golden elixir, consider trying to enter the golden elixir. By then, if I can get a better golden elixir spiritual object, I will also find it for you. Ling Pengyun refused. After listening to what Ling Pengyun said, Ling Pengyun still had some ideas of condensing the false elixir. This matter also made Ling Pengyun feel distressed. This child is just too sensible. However, he still firmly rejected Ling Pengyun's proposal. As the elder of the Ling family, Ling Pengyun has handled the family affairs in an orderly manner over the years, saving Ling Pengyun a lot of trouble. The dozens of systems he issued have benefited the entire family. No matter how you look at it, Ling Pengyun, the elder, can be regarded as a meritorious official of the Ling family. Ling Pengyun originally planned to condense 9 mouthfuls of yin-yang Taichu Qi into a mouthful of yin-yang Taichu essence for himself to take in the future. If there is any yin-yang Taichu Qi left, he will pass it to this junior, which can be regarded as a reward for Ling Pengyun, and also help Ling Pengyun to reach the middle stage of Jinden or even the late stage of Jinden. But once Ling Pengyun enters the realm of false pill, his path will also be restricted by the false pill. Ling Pengyun is not sure that he can use a mouthful of yin-yang Taichu Qi to change the restrictions of the false pill on the false pill cultivator, so that a false pill cultivator can have the ability to improve his cultivation like an ordinary Jinden cultivator. Under such circumstances, Ling Pengyun naturally did not want to see that a junior who he had expected to have a better path would be trapped in the realm of false pills and unable to improve. And Ling Pengyun, who was rejected again, saw that Ling Pengyun had a bit of displeasure on his face, so he did not dare to say anything more. However, he did not have any dissatisfaction in his heart, but felt a little warmer in his heart. How could he not see that Ling Pengyun did this for the sake of his path? At this moment, Ling Pengyun also said again, "By the way, the monster rebellion will begin in a year, and we should also make preparations. 1 month later, hold a clan meeting in the clan's meeting hall. You should quickly use the family's communication mirror to recall the foundation building elders scattered throughout the Yan state to the family for discussion. Also, you should also count the strategic spiritual objects that the family has saved in the past 10 years to deal with this monster rebellion. They will be useful at the clan meeting at that time." When Ling Pengyun heard this, his face became more solemn, and he nodded slightly to agree to it. Then, he left Lingxiao Mountain. Ling Pengyun also entered the cave on the top of Lingxiao Mountain, and followed a secret passage in the cave to the huge mountain space where the little one-iu blood jade tree was cultivated. In the past 2 years, this little one-iu blood jade fruit tree, which originally only had the 2nd level of key training, has been promoted to the 6th level of key training with the help of a large amount of Ling's spiritual water, the flesh and blood of various high-level monsters, and the souls of monsters. Basically, it breaks through a level every 6 months. This tree has grown from a sapling to a 6-foot-long tree. The grade of the one-iu blood jade spirit fruit hanging on its branch has also been raised to the high 1st level middle grade in just 2 years due to the spiritual power feedback from the spiritual tree's breakthrough. Under normal growth, it takes at least 5 years for ordinary spiritual fruits to reach this grade. Of course, if the spiritual tree that breeds the spiritual fruit can also improve as fast as this little one-iu blood jade tree, the spiritual fruit grades of those ordinary spiritual trees can also be improved so fast. As for the blood jade fruit on this tree, Ling Pengyun planned to keep it forever, at least until the one-iu blood jade tree was upgraded to the 2nd grade upper grade, and the spiritual fruit grade was also the 2nd grade upper grade, and the spirit fruit grade was bred with the aura of good fortune, which could be used as a foundation building spiritual object, and then he would plan to pick it. Otherwise, ordinary blood jade fruits would only have the effect of improving cultivation, and such spiritual fruits would not be of much use to the Ling family, which had a large number of spiritual fruit trees. Moreover, the small one-iu blood jade tree could only condense 1 spiritual fruit at a time, so naturally it was necessary to maximize the benefits of the fruit produced by this tree. At this time, Ling Pengyun walked in and unexpectedly discovered that this tree had bred a spiritual seed shape in the vortex of the power of the armor wood condensed in the main stem with the power of the armor wood, and it contained a huge vitality. It only needed a slight defect to become complete. I've been here for a few months, but I didn't expect that this tree is already on the verge of nurturing a spiritual seed. I'm afraid that in a few days, this spiritual seed will be completely formed. Ling Pengyun was secretly surprised. You know, he has only used a special method to promote the nurturing of spiritual seeds on this tree for 2 short years. Under normal circumstances, even if a corresponding method of nurturing spiritual seeds is used continuously for 3 years on a 1st-level spiritual tree, there is only a probability that the spiritual tree will nurture spiritual seeds. It can be said that it is a blessing for a spiritual tree to nurture spiritual seeds at one time, and it is even rarer to nurture spiritual seeds in just over 2 years. According to Ling Pengyun's guess, the little one-iu blood jade fruit tree may have nurtured a one-iu blood jade fruit tree spiritual seed in advance because of the rich blood and strong vitality contained in its body. After waiting for a few days, the fruit tree also successfully nurtured the spiritual seed. Then, the small one-iu blood jade fruit tree shook slightly, and the spiritual seed that was originally inside its main stem flashed with spiritual light, flew out of the tree and landed in front of Ling Pengyun. Today, I will temporarily update twice. I will postpone it for the monster rebellion tomorrow. Chapter 787 The abilities brought by the jade blood jade spirit seed. The spirit seed bred by this small one-iu blood jade spirit tree is only the size of a soybean. Its whole body is the same as that of the small one-iu blood jade fruit tree. It is like blood jade, crystal clear, and like a gem. It does not look like a spirit seed at all. Ling Pengyun also saw the spirit seed of the one-iu blood jade tree for the first time. He was a little curious and looked at it a few more times. The spirit seed is the same as the 6th level small 1 IU blood jade tree that bred it. It contains both thin blood power and some spiritual power. Living between the devil and the righteous, Ling Pengyun also has a little more expectation for this strange spirit seed. There are all kinds of strange things in the world. I just don't know what the qualifications of this 3rd generation 1 IU blood jade tree spirit seed are. The 1st generation is the 3rd level middle grade 1 IU blood jade mother tree on the Dantian island in the Meteorite Sea in the boundless sea cultivation world. The 2nd generation is the key training level 6 small 1 IU blood jade tree here, which was grafted from the trunk of the mother tree. This tree is also the tree that breeds the spirit seed. After withdrawing his distracting thoughts, Ling Pengyun saw a cold light flashing on the index finger of his right hand, and a small wound appeared. Ling Pengyun also mobilized the spiritual power in his body, and forced out a drop of blood essence containing a large amount of his own origin from the wound, and hid it in the void in front of him. He didn't care about the weakness caused by the drop of blood essence leaving his body, and hurriedly pinched his hands to perform the method of offering sacrifice to his own spiritual plant, and cast a series of magic formulas in the drop of blood essence in front of him. At this moment, the drop of blood essence also flashed with bloodline, and a series of emerald green special runes appeared on its surface, occupying its entire surface. At this time, Ling Pengyun groaned and changed his finger technique. Transform. The special blood essence light dimmed and suddenly turned into a square blood red seal. Then, the seal slowly merged into the suspended spirit seed, and the spirit seed also flashed with blood at this moment. The huge blood power in the spirit seed, which had not moved at all, suddenly erupted like a volcano, madly rejecting the power of the seal that had merged into its body. Ling Pengyun even suddenly noticed that the spirit seed wanted to use this special blood power in its body to devour the core blood essence of his life spirit plant contract. This made Ling Pengyun extremely unhappy, and his face turned cold. Even the mother who gave birth to you is my spirit plant, and a mere spirit seed dares to compete with me. A majestic divine consciousness suddenly burst out from Ling Pengyun's body and directly penetrated into the spirit seed, suppressing the violent blood power in its body and making it unable to move. He also mobilized the power of the life spirit plant contract that had been injected into the body of the 1 IU blood jade tree before, turning it into a torrent, washing every inch of the spirit seed. Because the core of the contract law, his drop of blood contains his golden elixir origin, and the pure spiritual power in it is also countless. Perhaps because of this, the spirit seed aura of the 1 IU blood jade tree rose rapidly under the power of the contract. Even after 1,000 breaths, this spirit seed actually spanned countless growth times, and in just 3 breaths, it sprouted and continued to grow at a speed visible to the naked eye. When the strange phase of the spirit seed stopped, the spirit seed actually grew into a 7-foot-long sapling, and its cultivation level was also raised from nothing to the 7th level of key training. The blood power in this spirit plant, which originally rejected Ling Pengyun, also revealed countless intimacy to Ling Pengyun at this moment. At this time, the sapling also entered the realm of key training. At this moment, it mobilized countless blood power in its body to pass into the body of the new owner Ling Pengyun to feed back. Although the amount of spiritual power fed back by the 7th level key training sapling was insignificant to Ling Pengyun, a 7th level giant and cultivator, he did not refuse it. After the spiritual plant breaks through the realm, it feeds back the spiritual power to the owner, which is also a little trick to deepen the connection between the two. At the same time, the first spiritual energy infusion of the spiritual plant from the mortal to the way of key training is also the time for the spiritual plant to feed back some of its own special power to the owner. When everything was settled, Ling Pengyun felt that the missing 3rd life spirit plant had returned to its place, and it was difficult to sacrifice the life spirit plant. In addition, he also felt that there was a lot of blood power in his body that contained vitality. After spending half a day to refine the blood power, his vitality was also stronger. After careful calculation, his lifespan was actually increased by at least 10 years. In addition, he also felt that he could freely draw the spiritual power obtained from the future cultivation of his new 7th level key training life spirit plant 1 IU blood jade tree into his body to help improve his own cultivation. These two things also made Ling Pengyun look very happy. I didn't expect that the power of this tree's feeding back can also extend life, and this life is not small, which is comparable to the life of those spiritual plants that can give birth to life after they are implanted. And the ability that this tree feeds back to me can be freely drawn from the spiritual plant. Putting it on other spiritual plants may not have much effect. After all, the other spiritual plants themselves also need to improve their cultivation. Once I draw away the cultivation gained by those spiritual plants through hard practice, their cultivation will also be difficult to improve. But this one Iu blood jade fruit tree is different. This tree can be nourished by refining countless flesh and souls, and there is a special spiritual power in its body for synthesis. There is no restriction on absorbing flesh and souls. The spiritual power cultivated by this method is also extremely thick, not weaker than the spiritual power cultivated by hard practice. Through this method, its cultivation progress is also extremely fast. There is no fear at all. I draw the spiritual power in its body and turn it into my own spiritual power. The only drawback is that the blood tree's cultivation is still low, and the speed at which it refines the power of flesh, blood, and soul is also slower. Even if it practices this method day and night and improves its cultivation, it is not of much help to me, who is now at the 6th level of the golden core. I guess this tree will only be of some help to me when it enters the late stage of foundation building, or even after the foundation building is complete, and the two kinds of blood power and spiritual power it cultivates are close to solidified spiritual power. After it enters the golden core stage, it will be of even greater help to me. Fortunately, this tree's cultivation progress is fast. In a few years, I will pass on a breath of yin and yang Taichu Qi to help it. I think the tree's cultivation speed will be a little faster. With my resources to help it, it will be just around the corner for this tree to enter the golden core avenue. This tree just borrowed the power of the source in my blood essence, and its cultivation level jumped to the 7th level. Its cultivation level is not stable now, and it needs time to stabilize, otherwise it will be harmful to its future path. In this way, it is difficult for me to pass my spiritual power to it in a short time to accelerate its reaching the late stage of foundation building. With this plan, Ling Pengyun looked at the 7-foot-tall 3rd-generation 1 Iu blood jade tree in front of him, and he was more pleased. The natal spiritual plant and the spiritual plant husband can actually pass spiritual power to each other to improve their cultivation. However, as the leader, the spiritual plant husband is naturally unwilling to pass the spiritual power he has cultivated to his own natal spiritual plant to improve his cultivation level at ordinary times. Only when the natal spiritual plant encounters a bottleneck will the spiritual plant husband do so. Back then, when Ling Pengyun's Renshu blue cloud grass broke through the golden core, Ling Pengyun, the owner, rarely used his own spiritual power to help the Renshu blue cloud grass break through. Now, if Ling Pengyun had not wanted to help as soon as possible, and the cultivation of the newly refined 3rd life spirit plant 1 Iu blood jade tree would have been raised to the late stage of foundation building, otherwise he would not have wanted to use his own cultivation to help the life spirit plant improve its cultivation. Afterwards, he considered that in order to speed up the cultivation of this tree, he needed to feed it a large amount of flesh and blood and souls. There was not enough space to warm this tree in the golden elixir, so he planted the life spirit plant next to the 2nd-generation key training level 6 small 1 Iu blood jade tree here, whose cultivation level was even lower than that of the 2nd generation. At the same time, he also used the contract between him and his own key training level 7 small 1 Iu blood jade tree to instruct this tree to absorb the large area of monster flesh and blood here as soon as possible, and the power of monster souls continuously sent out by the 2nd level Yuga banner in the sky, to improve his cultivation. As for the 3rd level ghost controlling banner that was previously suspended in this mountain space and specifically stored the souls of monsters and provided them for the 2nd generation Zio 1 Iu blood jade tree to cultivate, since it was given to Ling Pengyun, Ling Pengyun could only place a 2nd level ghost controlling banner here. This 2nd level ghost controlling banner was a stock he had refined in his early years. In the early years, after Ling Pengyun successfully improved the banner to be able to sacrifice the souls of monsters into mountain-moving evil ghosts, this powerful banner was used by the Ling family as a magic weapon for the clan members. As long as a member of the Ling family enters the Tao, the family will give him a 1st-level low-grade ghost-controlling banner for free. As for the 6 mountain-moving evil ghosts inside, the clan members need to fill them themselves. Chapter 788, Ling Clan's huge number of monks. Time passed slowly. Recently, the elders who had built their foundations scattered all over the family have also used various means to return to the family land. At this time, in the family meeting hall deep in the Ling family land, there were 159 cultivators sitting on a long table. These cultivators were men, women, old and young, but they all had the foundation of cultivation, and their aura was extremely powerful. However, these foundation cultivators now showed a bit of sadness between their brows, and they were chatting in twos and threes. 10th brother, you said that this time, the ancestor Pengyun called us back to the family. Is it for the monster beast chaos in a year? It must be this matter. A series of noisy voices also sounded. And these discussions were all related to the monster beast chaos. The atmosphere in the meeting hall also became low because of the upcoming monster beast chaos. It was not until the ancestor Ling Pengyun entered the meeting room that the noise in the meeting room died down and the place returned to peace. However, the worried expressions on the faces of the 159 cultivators all revealed their uneasiness. Ling Pengyun saw this scene and guessed what they were thinking. He also spoke out in a stern voice. Why are you so dead? As long as I am here, the Ling family will not fall. Clear your minds. As soon as these words came out, the hearts of the 159 foundation building cultivators present seemed to have a stabilizing needle, and the worried expressions on their faces also decreased a little. Ling Pengyun also sat on the leftmost seat of the three main seats in the meeting room. This position was his exclusive seat. The seat in the middle of the main seat symbolized the highest status and belonged to the clan leader Ling Yunhong. The seat on the right belonged to Yan Sidai. He, Ling Yunhong, and Yan Sidai were the only three Ling family golden elixirs known to the Ling family and the outside world. Ling Pengyun did not spread the news of Ling Pengyun, who founded the fire dragon sect of the Jindan sect in the Wubian Sea, the alchemist Ling Chengxin, who had just entered the Jindan stage, and Ling Pengxing, a Jindan ghost cultivator, entering the Jindan stage. In this way, he paralyzed the Yuaning demon clan of the Yan state's enemy, the Red Gold Bear clan, and used Ling Pengyun and the other two as a hidden hand. The Red Gold Bear is also a huge monster in the boundless vast swamp. This clan is even more powerful and has many spies among the human race. Once the news of the Ling family spreads, the Red Gold Bear clan will definitely know it within a few days. Sitting in his seat, Ling Pengyun glanced at the foundation building cultivators sitting on both sides of the long table in the conference hall. There were as many as 158 foundation building cultivators, and his face was also more satisfied. More than a decade ago, there were only dozens of foundation building cultivators at that family meeting. Ling Pengyun also said to the 158 foundation building cultivators present at this moment. The monster beast rebellion is approaching. This time I summoned you, just as you thought, to deal with the monster beast rebellion in a year. Then, he turned his head and asked the elder Ling Pengyun, who was sitting at the front of the row on the left side of the long table in the meeting hall. Pengyun, first tell everyone about the current number of cultivators, spirit beasts, demon corpses, spirit rice storage in the family, etc. Ling Pengyun nodded lightly, and took out a book from the storage bag. Just flipping through it, the first page was full of words, and Ling Pengyun was also muttering at this moment. Currently, there are 3,862 cultivators with a bloodline of my Ling family in the family, including 78 foundation building cultivators. There are 4,653 cultivators who have merit into the family, among which there are fewer foundation building cultivators, only 36. The family's Foreign Affairs Hall has recruited a huge number of independent cultivators with generous rewards. Currently, there are 6,189 independent cultivators in the Foreign Affairs Hall, but the qualifications of this batch of independent cultivators are uneven, and there are only 44 independent cultivators who can enter the foundation building stage. There are 14,704 cultivators from 3 different backgrounds, 158 foundation building cultivators, and there are currently dozens of cultivators in the family who have perfected key training. There are 2,153 cultivators in the late stage of key training, and the number of cultivators in the middle stage of key training is the largest, with 9,653. The number of cultivators in the early stage of key training is relatively small due to the huge resources of the family, only. The spirit beasts raised by the family can be roughly divided into 2 areas, one is the clan land, and the other is Lingxiao Thousand Star Lake. There are a total of 4,563 spirit beasts raised in the clan land, including 35 foundation building spirit beasts, and the spirit beasts in the late stage of key training. There are 3,008 demon beasts on the Lingxiao Thousand Star Lake side, among which there are fewer foundation building spirit beasts, but there are also 23 spirit beasts in the late stage of key training. And the number of beast puppets and demon corpses is 15,500 in total, Almost every cultivator in the clan can have one, but among them, there are more beast puppets made from the corpses of demon beasts, and fewer demon corpses made by cultivators, accounting for about 7 and 3. Among them, there are a total of 223 demon corpses and beast puppets above the foundation building stage. In terms of puppets, the family has also focused on the development in recent years. Currently, there are 35 foundation building puppets. Speaking of this, Ling Pengyun paused slightly. To sum up, there are a total of 474 combat forces in the 4 categories of family cultivators, spirit beasts, demon corpses, and puppets. Over the years, the family of foundation building spirit creatures has a lot left because Brother Chang Xin and ancestor Yun Hong can refine them. There are nearly 100 portions left, all of which can be taken out. The family of spirit rice has a total of 600,000 kilograms of stored spiritual rice, including 500,000 kilograms and 100,000 kilograms of first-level and second-level spiritual rice, which is enough for 14,704 cultivators in our family to eat for 3 years. There are 100,000 first-level and second-level spiritual fruits, more than 85,000 first-level cultivation pills, more than 33,000 first-level healing pills. The family currently has 150 medium-sized and larger flying boats, including first level, and these flying boats can accommodate nearly 50,000 cultivators at the same time. There are more than 185,000 talismans left. These talismans were made by our talisman makers with the help of countless monster materials from the family. This batch of talismans is enough for each cultivator of our family to have 10 talismans. However, since our family does not have a third-level talisman maker, those talismans are all first and second-level talismans. Ling Pengyun kept talking for half an instant stick of time, and then he told all the preparations the family had made to deal with the monster chaos. Whether it was the number of cultivators in the family, the number of spirit beasts, or even the war resources provided by the family, most of the foundation building elders present were shocked. Although they were all family elders, 99% of them were sent out by the family to guard the spiritual mountains in various places or to take care of the business. The core affairs of the family were not accessible to ordinary elders. Only the hall masters of the family's several halls and the core personnel of the halls could get in touch with 1 or 2. And in the end, all this information would be gathered in the hands of the great elder Ling Pengyun. For a while, there were constant exclamations in the meeting room. You know, it is extremely rare for a faction to have more than 14,000 cultivators. This number of cultivators is enough to rival those old-fashioned giant forces in the entire northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. The only thing is that the Ling family is a little bit behind in terms of foundation building cultivators. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 789 Autonomous Garrison System. The number of spiritual objects that the family brought out was nearly 1 million, and the value of this batch of spiritual objects was as high as millions of spiritual stones. However, the foundation building elders present did not know that in order to prepare this batch of war resources, the family had consumed the hundreds of thousands of monsters that the family had killed in the early years, as well as the large amount of monster materials obtained by destroying the 10,000 Beast sect and other forces. It can be said that the family's assets were basically emptied out for this war. Ling Pengyun also spoke at this time. The number of strategic materials is not bad. At present, it is enough for the monster rebellion. However, the foundation building combat power and the number of cultivators are far from enough. Cheng Yuan, after this meeting, released the information of the nearly 1 million spiritual objects that the family has saved over the years to recruit casual cultivators from the outside world, even those with the initial stage of key training. As long as they can come, it will be fine. The great elder Ling Pengyun nodded lightly and responded to this matter. Ling Pengyun also said afterwards, at present, the family occupies a total of 5 territories, namely the Lingxiao Mountains in the heart of Yan State, the adjacent Qingshi Ridge, the Lingxiao Thousand Star Lake on the other side of the Bayun Mountains, the Taiyan Ridge, and the Bayun Mountains. Among them, the Qingshi Ridge and Bayun Mountains are closest to the boundless vast swamp of the demon race. The Ice and Snow White Lion clan of the giant and demon clan adjacent to the Qingshi Ridge is fine. Because the Black Mountain Zhao family, the strongest giant in force under the Xianxing sect, and my clan killed several giant and demon kings in their clan, this clan only has one giant and perfect demon king and one giant and late demon king left in charge. On the contrary, the Bayun Mountains, where the Bayun Mountains are located, penetrates into the demon clan territory like a sharp knife. It is the place in my Yan state that is closest to the Yuanying demon clan, the Red Gold Bear clan, and that place is bound to become the main place for my Yan state to fight against part of the enemy Red Gold Bear clan. The Bayun Mountains of our clan are located in the deepest part of the Bayun Mountains, so that area needs to be heavily guarded. Now, of the 479 foundation building warriors of the family, 250 will be sent there to guard the area, and 7,000 key training monks of the family will also go there. 100 foundation building warriors and 5,000 key training monks will be sent to the equally dangerous Purple Scorpion Ridge. The remaining 179 warriors and 2,000 key training monks will be divided into 3 parts and stationed in Lingxiao Mountains, Lingxiao Thousand Star Lake, and Taoyan Ridge, where the clan is located. These 3 places are relatively safe and will not encounter too many dangers. But then again, who of you should stay in the safe Ling's Mountains and other territories, and who should go to the dangerous Purple Scorpion Ridge and Bayun Mountains is a difficult problem. This matter is too dangerous, and the family will not force you to wait. The elders who are willing to go to the dangerous Purple Scorpion Ridge and Bayun Mountains will be rewarded with a second-level mid-grade spiritual weapon. Only those who are willing to stay in the clan land, Lingxiao Qiangxing Lake, and Treading Cloud Ridge will not receive any prize. Voluntary registration. As soon as these words came out, the entire meeting hall was immersed in silence. The people present knew clearly how dangerous the 2 fronts of Purple Scorpion Ridge and White Cloud Mountains would be during the monster beast chaos. Although there were only 2 golden core demon kings left in the Ice and Snow White Lion clan next to Purple Scorpion Ridge, the cultivation of those 2 golden core demon kings was as high as the late golden core stage, and their strength was extremely extraordinary. Going to Purple Scorpion Ridge to take charge, even these foundation building cultivators would have a high probability of dying tragically. It was even more dangerous to be stationed in the White Cloud Mountains. When the monster beast chaos came, the cultivators stationed in the White Cloud Mountains would have to face the Red Gold Bear clan. Even if the main force of the Red Gold Bear clan would go to fight with the Xianxing sect, they would only send a part of the monster beasts to attack the Yan state for revenge. But those monster beasts were from the Red Gold Bear clan after all. How could they be ordinary people? By then, even the giant and ancestors would probably die miserably, not to mention these foundation building cultivators. But the reward Ling Pengyun proposed was very valuable. 90% of the foundation building cultivators present were only at the initial and middle stages of the foundation building stage. The second-level middle-grade magic weapon was very attractive to these early and middle-stage foundation building cultivators. Even the few late-stage foundation building cultivators present were somewhat tempted by the reward Ling Pengyun proposed. After all, the price of a second-level middle-grade magic weapon on the market could be as high as 3,000 spirit stones. And 3,000 spirit stones is not a small amount even for a perfect foundation building cultivator. Under such circumstances, under the danger and huge benefits, the foundation building cultivators present were also in a very hesitant situation for a while. But at this moment, a simple and honest voice resounded in the meeting hall. "I'm going to the front line of the Bayun Mountains." This voice also attracted the attention of the cultivators in the entire conference hall. When they looked over, they saw a young man with an ordinary face, but he looked very kind, dark skin, and looked like a farmer standing up. The appearance of this person surprised the foundation building elders present. The farmer-like young man was Ling Wanchuan, the most talented of the 6 sons of the Ling family. Moreover, Ling Wanchuan also had extremely high attainments in spiritual plants and was praised as the youngest member of the family who had the most hope of becoming a 3rd-level spiritual plant husband. Such talents did not hide in the family to practice in peace, but dared to go to dangerous places to guard. It was extremely rare. At this time, Ling Wangsu, who was standing next to him with a cold face, like an iceberg, with 3 sword boxes on his back and an invisible sword intent surrounding him, also stood up and spoke. "I'll follow my clan brother Wanchuan." Ling Wando, who was standing in the corner of the meeting room and looked very steady, was a little surprised when he saw Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu, 2 of the Ling family's peers, standing up at this moment without fear of the danger of the Bayun Mountains. He felt that it was reasonable. The selected Ling family's 6 sons not only represent the young generation of talents of the Ling family, but will also be trained by the family, and countless resources will be tilted. Under such circumstances, it is natural to serve the family in times of crisis. Ling Wanderer looked at the old ancestor Pengyun, who was sitting on the main seat in the meeting room, resting his eyes and showing no expression, and then looked at the great elder Ling Pengyun, who was looking at Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu with admiration. His heart was slightly moved. I think that this time, the way that the old ancestor Pengyun decided whether to go to the front line on his own may have other deep meanings. Thinking of this, even if the front line of the Bayun Mountains was dangerous, he gritted his teeth, stood up, and said, "I am also willing to go to the Bayun Mountains and contribute to the family." Then, he sent a message to Ling Wanlian, who was also one of the 6 sons of the Ling family and had a very good relationship with him. "Brother Wanlian, I am afraid that the place I chose to stay on my own this time is related to the opportunity of the future golden elixir. Don't miss this opportunity. Don't let the family think that we, the 6 sons of the Ling family, are just empty shells and afraid of fighting." Ling Lihu's eyes lit up when he heard this. He was originally a warlike person and always adhered to the idea of cultivating Taoism through fighting. In his early years, he was able to catch the eyes of the family's top leaders when he was in his 20s or 30s, which made the family's top leaders expand the number of Ling's 5 sons to 6 sons, also because of his strong fighting ability. Under such circumstances, how could he be afraid of the danger of staying in the Bayun Mountains? He also said arrogantly, "I am also willing to go to the Bayun Mountains to kill the group of bear cubs of the Red Gold Bear clan." Chapter 790. Everyone has different thoughts. At the same time, the remaining 2 Ling family beast masters, Ling Lihu and Ling Libing, who had been focusing on the 100 arts, looked at each other and communicated. "Brother Lihu, the opportunity to prove our strength has finally come. Brother, do you dare to go to the front line with me?" The beastmaster Ling Lihu, who was wearing animal skin and looked extremely fierce, raised a strong fighting spirit on his face and nodded. Of course. The 2 of them were selected into the family's 6 sons in their early years because of their extraordinary talents in the 200 arts of beast control and corpse refining. Although the 2 of them were indeed the best in the family in beast control and corpse refining, no one in the younger generation could surpass them. But the other 4 of the Ling family's 6 sons, and even Ling Wanchuan, who was also selected as one of the Ling family's 6 sons because of the spiritual plan, are now extremely powerful. Each of them has at least a combat power of the middle stage of foundation building. Especially Ling Wanchuan, the strongest of the 6 sons of the Ling family. His strength is enough to surpass the old generation of foundation building cultivators in the family and can be compared with the clan members in the late stage of foundation building. However, Ling Libing and Ling Lihu have not shown their strength for many years, which has led to controversy in the family. Even many talented clan members with outstanding cultivation talents, strong combat power, and mastering 100 arts think that they are all-round and more suitable to be selected as the 6 sons of the Ling family than Ling Libing and Ling Lihu. At the same time, they also envy the huge resources that can be obtained after being selected as the 6 sons of the Ling family, so they often secretly arrange Ling Lihu and Ling Libing. In recent years, the family has often spread the saying that Ling Libing and Ling Lihu have been holding the family's huge resources and have been hiding in the family and dare not go out to fight monsters, and their cowardly nature. The elders of the family naturally know that this is false. Ling Libing and Ling Lihu, as masters of all arts, did not comprehend the Dao of the 100 arts in the family, but went out to fight monsters. This was strange. However, the young people in the family who were full of passion and had not been worn out by reality believed that Ling Lihu and Ling Libing were cowardly. They all agreed that they should not take so much benefit from the family, but simply comprehend the Dao of the 100 arts. This was no different from wasting resources. It would be better to leave some resources for them to practice. After all, cultivators have always respected strength. No matter how strong the Dao of the 100 arts is, if it cannot be used to enhance strength, what is the use? Just turn spirit stones, the beast-taming Dao and the demon corpse Dao mastered by Ling Libing and Ling Lihu are not comparable to the speed at which the second-level alchemists and array masters in the family earn profits. Ling Libing and Ling Lihu knew about the rumors in the family, which made them very upset. They have not left the family for these years because they are responsible for refining demon corpses and cultivating spirit beasts. Otherwise, they would have gone out to explore the world long ago. Ling Lihu was fine. When he was practicing Qi, He often went out with Ling Wanduo and Ling Wangsu, and he also had some reputation. But Ling Wangsu, a second-level demon refiner, has never been to the outside world to fight with others since he entered the Tao. He is also called a nerd by the family and is the most controversial among the 6 sons of the Ling family. Under such circumstances, the family is now facing a great crisis, and the 2 of them are planning to go to the front line, both to prove themselves and to do their part for the family. They both stood up and expressed their willingness to go to the front line of Banished Mountains. On the other side, Ling Changping, who sat at the front of the long table in the meeting hall, was a silkworm breeder, but she was also a warlike person. In the past, she had gone to the land of the demon clan with her husband Lin Fan and Ling Changsha, who had a very good relationship with her, to kill demon beasts. Now, she would not be afraid of fighting for the clan. She immediately pulled her husband Lin Fan and said, "We are willing to go to the front line of the Banished Mountains." Her husband Lin Fan had no objection to this. However, he did not value the benefit of the second-level medium-grade magic weapon that could be obtained by garrisoning at the front line of the Banished Mountains. As the first person in the family's beast control, he naturally looked down on a second-level medium-grade magic weapon. What he really valued was Ling Pengyun's future support. His current cultivation level has reached the 8th level of foundation building, and he is just over 100 years old. There are still 50 years before the best time to break through the golden elixir. With such a long time, he is fully confident that he can be promoted to the state of perfect foundation building and have the opportunity to break through the golden elixir. But he has the opportunity, but currently has no golden elixir spiritual objects. In the future, it will be extremely difficult for him to rely on himself to get golden elixir spiritual objects. However, there is a way to go, that is, to wait for his Taoist partner Ling Changping to marry his daughter Ling Pengyun. He knew that most of the Ling family's golden elixir spiritual objects were purchased from the outside world by Ling Changping's adoptive father Ling Pengyun. At the beginning, he indirectly found a teleportation array for the Ling family due to an opportunity, and also handed over a 3rd-level beast control inheritance and a complete golden elixir technique to the Ling family. He was also Ling Changping's Taoist partner and the first person in the Ling family to control beasts. Under such circumstances, as long as Ling Pengyun was satisfied and not disgusted, he would have a high chance of getting golden elixir spiritual objects from Ling Pengyun in the future. At the same time, Ling Changsha, the son of Ling Pengyun, also stood up. However, he did not immediately express his willingness to participate in the war, but instead looked coldly at the more than 30 foundation building elders of the family's Foreign Affairs Hall, and spoke with a dignified face. "Everyone in the Foreign Affairs Hall, stand up. The family has trained you to enter the path of foundation building just for this day. It's time to follow this hall master and serve the family. If anyone is afraid of fighting, after this meeting, give up your cultivation and get out of the Foreign Affairs Hall." The more than 30 casual cultivators in the Foreign Affairs Hall did not even feel angry when they heard this threat, but only felt fear. Ling Changsha is the son of the strongest giant and ancestor of the Ling family, and Ling Changsha is also the Hall Master of the Foreign Affairs Hall, which is worshipped by more than 7,000 casual cultivators. This position of Hall Master was not obtained by Ling Changsha relying on the face of his father Ling Pengyun. It was nearly 10 years ago that Ling Changsha, the original elder of the Foreign Affairs Hall, entered the late stage of foundation building. With his powerful strength, he swept the entire Foreign Affairs Hall's foundation building casual cultivator elders, as well as the Ling family's foundation building elders in the Foreign Affairs Hall, and stepped into the position of Hall Master with his strength. It was also the case that most of the independent cultivators of the Foreign Affairs Hall who had established their foundations were defeated by Ling Changsha. In addition, Ling Changsha often entered the demon tribe's territory and killed countless demon beasts and independent cultivators who had committed serious mistakes in the Foreign Affairs Hall. He would kill them at will, and he was a well-known killer. This also made the independent cultivators of the Foreign Affairs Hall extremely afraid of Ling Changsha, the head of the Foreign Affairs Hall. Chapter 791 Mobilizing the Atmosphere. On ordinary days, when those casual foundation building cultivators from the Foreign Affairs Hall met Ling Changsha in the clan, they would walk with their heads down and dare not look at him. Under such circumstances, the more than 30 casual foundation building elders from the Foreign Affairs Hall would naturally not doubt that what Ling Changsha, the Hall Master, said at this time was false. And these foundation building elders from the Foreign Affairs Hall, who did not have the blood of the Ling family, but were recruited into the family for training in the early years, and now could only be regarded as marrying Ling's female cultivators as Ling's sons-in-law. Even if they were afraid to go to the front line of the Bayun Mountains, they did not dare to oppose what Ling Qiangxia said. They still miss their foundation-building cultivation. Once it is abolished, they will be useless people. They can't stand this. Forced by Ling Qiangxia's threat, they can only express their willingness to join the war. When Ling Qiangxia saw this, a look of satisfaction rose on his face. At the same time, he also knew that it would be difficult to make those foundation-building elders from the Foreign Affairs Hall go all out when they joined the war by threats alone. He also gave the more than 30 foundation-building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall a little sweetness and said, and if they are willing to participate in the war and perform outstandingly, the Foreign Affairs Hall can also list them as key training targets, regardless of qualifications, only achievements. The eyes of the more than 30 foundation-building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall, who were still depressed, suddenly brightened, and the haze on their faces dissipated a lot. Whether it is the Foreign Affairs Hall or the other halls of the family, the profits generated each year are not all handed over to the family, but an additional 10% of the profits will be left to allow each hall to train additional talents in each hall. The 7,000 cultivators in the Foreign Affairs Hall are all from independent cultivation. Even if there are strong independent cultivators among them, the family will not list them as the 6 sons of the Ling family and the 5 tigers of the Ling family. In addition, the number of cultivators in the Foreign Affairs Hall is large, and it is the largest among the 3 major groups of Ling family cultivators. In order to avoid the independent cultivators of the Foreign Affairs Hall from having resentment, the family will leave an additional 20% of the profits to the Foreign Affairs Hall every year, totaling 30% of the profits. This also allows the Foreign Affairs Hall to freely control a lot of resources every year, and these resources are in the hands of Ling Qiangxia, the head of the Foreign Affairs Hall. Although these resources are limited and he cannot monopolize them, it is up to Ling Qiangxia to use these resources to train the foundation-building casual cultivator of the Foreign Affairs Hall. Of course, the offerings of the cultivators in any hall are uniformly distributed by the family, and the additional resources obtained by each hall are resources that each hall can use at will and can be controlled at will. In addition, although Ling Qiangxia, the head of the hall, is a killing god in the eyes of those foundation-building elders, he is also very willing to spend. Among the 2 deputy heads of the Foreign Affairs Hall, the only one who was born as a casual cultivator, Zhang Qianyu, was promoted by Ling Qiangxia. Since then, he has ascended to a high position. His cultivation level has risen with the help of the position of deputy head. Now he has reached the peak of the middle stage of foundation building. Even in the entire Ling family, he is enough to rank in the top 30. The other few foundation-building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall, promoted by Ling Qiangxia, also benefited greatly from this, and their cultivation was close to the middle stage of foundation building. It was for this reason that the conditions given by Ling Qiangxia at this time were enough to convince everyone in the Foreign Affairs Hall. For a moment, the foundation-building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall all expressed their loyalty. We will fight to the end for the family. The movements of the people in the Foreign Affairs Hall also made the faces of the more than 70 cultivators with Ling family foundation building in the meeting hall darken. All of them are concerned about the family and have the heart to protect the family. Otherwise, no matter how strong their qualifications are, the family will not give them foundation building spiritual objects to assist them in foundation building. At the same time, it is also because of this that they look down on most of the foundation building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall. On weekdays, when those foundation-building elders do things for the family, they are either perfunctory or procrastinate. If they are not urged by the superiors, they will never be serious. However, these foundation-building monks of the Foreign Affairs Hall receive the same salary as the foundation-building monks of the Ling family. This also made the foundation-building monks of the Ling family secretly call most of the foundation-building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall as termites. Under such circumstances, the termites of the Foreign Affairs Hall took the lead. At this critical moment, they seemed to love their clan very much and were willing to go to the most dangerous front line of the Bayun Mountains to garrison. In the hearts of these foundation-building elders of the Ling family, it was like a slap in their faces. In addition, the 5 powerful Ling family tigers and 6 Ling family sons in the family have expressed their participation in the war. With the care of these clan members, they are also safer. The 5 Ling family tigers are Ling Pengyun, a giant and early-stage monk who founded the Fire Dragon sect in the Mingshu Sea of the Boundless Sea cultivation realm, Ling Pengyun, who has just entered the giant stage, the Great Elder Ling Pengyun, the second-level silkworm breeder Ling Pengyun, and the head of the Foreign Affairs Hall Ling Pengyun. However, Ling Pengyun was still in the Boundless Sea, and Ling Pengyun had been in seclusion refining magic weapons after entering the Golden Core stage, so they did not participate in this family meeting. The 6 members of the Ling family were all there. For a moment, these Ling family foundation builders who were afraid of the dangers of the front line of the White Cloud Mountains came out one after another and expressed their willingness to go. The meeting room was also in a commotion. And the instigator of all this, Ling Pengyun, also raised a touch of joy on his face. Then, he nodded to the elder Ling Pengyun, who was sitting at the first seat on the left side of the long table in the meeting room. Seeing Ling Pengyun looking over, the elder Ling Pengyun also sent a voice message to him. Brother Pengyun, this time thanks to you. It's all because of your good arrangement, Brother Pengyun. Ling Pengyun did not take credit, but said modestly. Everything that happened just now was actually planned by the elder Ling Pengyun. Ling Pengyun smiled at Ling Pengyun, and then he looked at the area where the sons-in-law of the Ling family, or the elders of the Ling family, who married into the family, sat at the head table of the meeting hall. He saw that only a few of the foundation-building elders, who were not 100 arts, stood up and expressed their willingness to go to the Bayun Mountains. The rest of the people who mastered 100 arts lowered their heads and sat motionless. There was a bit of disappointment between his eyebrows. Most of these 100 arts masters trained by Yaowang Valley and Qingshi Taoist Temple are used to refine spiritual objects for the family on weekdays, which is fine, but at this critical moment, they are really unreliable. In the future, these first-level and second-level 100 arts masters who married into our Ling family or married into our Ling family because of the marriage with Yaowang Valley and Qingshi Taoist Temple will not have to pay as much tribute every year as before, and give them generous gifts. Ling Pengyun raised a cold color between his eyebrows. When the Ling clan formed an alliance with Yaowang Valley and Qingshi Taoist Temple, the Ling clan had secretly told the 2 sects golden elixirs that the Ling clan lacked the talents in alchemy and talisman making the Yaowang Valley and Qingshi Taoist Temple were good at. As a result, the male and female cultivators sent to the Ling clan by these 2 sects as wives or married into the Ling clan all mastered alchemy and talisman making, but their cultivation levels were different. Most of the more than 20 foundation-building elders from these 2 sects also mastered a second-level 100 arts. Chapter 792, Arrangements in Various Places. Then, Ling Pengyun turned his head and looked at the foundation-building elders who had become sons-in-law of the Ling family or daughters-in-law of the Ling family members since they entered the Ling family because of the Ling family's marriage proposal, and his face became better. The families of these people did not give any extra benefits. Instead, they stood up at this moment to add face to the family, just like those foundation-building cultivators with family blood in our clan. This is enough to show their loyalty, at least better than those foundation-building cultivators from the Foreign Affairs Hall who worked for our clan for the sake of benefits. And these people also joined the clan because of the family's marriage proposal. Unlike those foundation-building elders in the Foreign Affairs Hall who were forced by the family to marry the family's female cultivators as sons-in-law, they were rejected by the family's foundation-building clan members. Instead, they have a very good relationship with the family members. This is enough to show that these people are truly loyal to the family. In the future, we can increase the training of these people. After retracting his distracting thoughts, the great elder Ling Pengyun also stood up. His face became serious, and he said sternly, "Silence." The noisy meeting room was immediately immersed in the noise. Ling Pengyun also spoke up. "You all care so much about the family, it's really thoughtful. Since there are so many foundation-building cultivators willing to go to the front line of the Bayun Mountains, but there are very few foundation-building cultivators in the family, and the number of foundation-building spirit beasts, demon corpses, and puppets is even greater, we need to change it. The number of foundation-building cultivators stationed at the front line of the Bayun Mountains is temporarily set at 50. Each person brings 3 foundation-building spirit beasts, or foundation-building demon corpses, or puppets, and gathers 200 foundation-building combat forces. The front line of the Bayun Mountains is relatively dangerous, so the 50 people stationed here will be selected from the more than 30 foundation-building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall who are willing to go to the front line of the Bayun Mountains this time. and 35 of the most powerful foundation-building cultivators from the more than 70 foundation-building cultivators with the Ling family bloodline will go there. The Purple Scorpion Ridge, which is also relatively dangerous, will have 30 foundation-building cultivators go there, and select the 30 strongest cultivators from the remaining foundation-building elders of the Foreign Affairs Hall and the foundation-building elders of the family who have nothing to do. Each of these cultivators will carry 3 or 4 beasts to make up 100 foundation-building forces. The remaining dozens of foundation-building cultivators who are willing to go to the front line to garrison and are proficient in the 100 arts, as well as the dozen or so good sons-in-law and daughters-in-law of my Ling family who have mastered the 100 arts, will take the remaining 61 foundation-building spirit beasts, demon corpses, and puppets of the family, and garrison in the relatively safe clan land, as well as Lingxiao Thousand Star Lake and Taichu Ridge. Next, we will subdivide the clan members stationed in various places. As soon as these words fell, the dozen or so sons-in-law and daughters-in-law of the Ling family who had not expressed their intention to go to the front line to garrison in the Banished Mountains, and who had married into the Ling family due to the marriage between their family and Qingshi Taoist Temple in Yaowang Valley, or who had married into the Ling family, all trembled and their faces turned not so good. They were all experienced Taoists, so naturally they could hear the yin and yang of Ling Pengyun's words. But they had no roots in Qingshi Taoist Temple in Yaowang Valley, and they did not have much sense of belonging to their original sects. Or they had no hope in the path of Taoism, just wanted to lie down, and had no enthusiasm for doing things for the sects. That's why they were pushed out by Qingshi Taoist Temple in Yaowang Valley to become sons-in-law or daughters-in-law of Ling's family. After many years, they were still the same. They just wanted to live the rest of their lives well, so they were unwilling to go to the front line of Banished Mountains to garrison. At this time, although they knew that this made the great elder Ling Pengyun unhappy, they were worried about their future life in Ling's family. But after a while, these more than 20 sons-in-law and sons-in-law of Ling's family from Yaowang Valley, Qingshi Taoist Temple, were all happy because they did not have to go to the front line to fight. As for leaving Ling's family directly, they naturally did not dare to do so. As early as when they left Yaowang Valley and Qingshi Taoist Temple and entered Ling Clan's cultivators had arranged special secret methods in their sea of consciousness, so that no matter where they ran, Ling Clan's cultivators could find them. Moreover, Ling Clan's cultivators could kill them with the help of the restrictions arranged in their sea of consciousness in a moment. The sea of consciousness of the more than 30 casual cultivators in the Foreign Affairs Hall had also been arranged by Ling Clan to control life and death. Moreover, in the current situation where the Monster Beast Rebellion is approaching and Yan State has offended the Red Gold Bear Clan, even if they are still in Yaowang Valley and Qingshi Taoist Temple, they still need to participate in the war. Soon, the foundation-building cultivators stationed in the clan land in the heart of Yan State during the Monster Beast Rebellion, the 2 land boundaries of Qingshi Ridge, and the 3 land boundaries of Lingxiao Lake, Treading Cloud Ridge, and Banished Mountains in the Banished Mountains were all selected. The 2 silkworm breeders Ling Chengping and Ling Chengsha, who are 2 of the 5 tigers of the Ling family, and the 6 sons of the Ling family, were all arranged by the family to the front line of the Banished Mountains. As for the great elder Ling Pengyun, who is also one of the 5 tigers of the Ling family and a perfect foundation cultivator, he was in charge of the clan during the Monster Beast Rebellion, managing all affairs and the mobilization of spiritual objects to prevent the family from being in chaos during the Monster Beast Rebellion. Ling Pengyun, who was resting with his eyes closed, also opened his eyes and gave instructions to everyone. Since the foundation cultivators stationed in various places have been selected, after the meeting is over, you will have to work hard to select the key training cultivators of the family and go to various places to garrison. The foundation building elders present all said that it was their duty to work for the family without any hardship. Do you have any other suggestions for the family facing the Monster Beast Rebellion? Ling Pengyun then said lightly. Dad, although the 1.6 to 1.7 million mortals in our family are all in the Lingxiao Mountains where the clan is located, the Lingxiao Mountains are vast. During the monster chaos, there were few cultivators stationed in this area. If a monster breaks into this area, there will probably be great losses. The demon cultivators in the eastern demon realm like to use the flesh and blood and souls of mortals to refine magic pills or sacrifice blood to magic treasures. The number of mortals in our clan is large enough to rival the old-fashioned giant forces in the northern wilderness. It is estimated that when the monster chaos comes, The demon cultivators will take advantage of the weak defense of our territory and attack the mortals in our clan. Should we use flying boats to gather all those mortals? The more than 30 foundation building elders in my foreign affairs hall are all stationed in the sacred mountains in various places. They can be temporarily dispatched to drive flying boats to transport mortals. Ling Changsha, who was sitting at the front of the long table in the conference hall, asked at this time. When Ling Pengyun heard this, his brows brightened. After this kid became the head of the foreign affairs hall, his mind has become more meticulous. Then he said, relocating the mortals and concentrating their protection is possible. However, if the mortals are too concentrated, they will be like a bigger cake in the eyes of those demon cultivators, and will inevitably attract more powerful demon cultivators. However, take this opportunity to concentrate the 1.6 to 1.7 million mortals of our clan in the Lingxiao Mountains on 16 places with second-level medium and upper-grade spirit veins, with about 1 million mortals in each place, and build cities based on those 16 spirit veins to deter all directions. During the monster beast chaos, each city will send a foundation building cultivator, 1 or 2 foundation building spirit beasts, or demon corpses, puppets, and 100 key training cultivators. This group of cultivators will be sent by the cultivators who originally stayed in the Lingxiao Mountains. As for the arrangement of the formations in the 16 cities, I will send people there. The matter of relocation does require the use of people from your foreign affairs hall. I'm sorry to trouble the cultivators of your foreign affairs hall for this matter. Ling Changsha, who had been rebellious since childhood, has become more mature since he became the head of the foreign affairs hall. At this time, it was the time for the family meeting, so he gave Ling Pengyun face and nodded. Dad, you are too kind. As a member of the family, it is our duty as the foreign affairs hall to work for the family. After that, several elders proposed other ways for the family to deal with the monster chaos. Half of them were adopted by the family, and a few were useless and rejected by the family. Ling Pengyun was dragged until the night, and then he was able to get away. However, the meeting did not end there. The remaining elders also began to discuss trivial matters such as the number of various spiritual objects carried by the cultivators stationed in the 5 territories of the family. Chapter 793, Sword Realm. After the family meeting, Ling Wanchuan, the family's genius spiritual plant husband who was like a farmer, found Ling Wangsu, who had a very good relationship with him and was very talented in spiritual awareness. Brother Wangsu, before Grandpa Pengxing went into seclusion, he clearly said that he would be able to come out within half a year, but now it has been a year and Grandpa Pengxing has still not shown up. I am afraid that Grandpa is still in seclusion. After this meeting, we will soon rush to the front line of the Bayun Mountains to garrison in the Bayun Mountains. You and I are all aware of the dangers. Perhaps this time we leave home, we will never be able to return. At this point, Ling Wanchuan's brows also showed a little more sadness, and he continued. Grandpa Pengxing has helped us a lot in the sword path. If it weren't for Grandpa Pengxing's teachings over the years, we would still be at the first level of the sword path, the realm of sword energy turning into light. How could we enter the second level of the sword path, sword as fast as thunder as we are now? If we were in the outside world, the relationship between us and Grandpa Pengxing would be enough to be called master and disciple. And we are about to leave home, so we should go and say goodbye. Even if we go to Ghost Star Valley this time and it is difficult to find Grandpa Pengxing who is in seclusion as before, when Grandpa Pengxing comes out of seclusion, he will not be disappointed because we two are not serious about it. According to the records in the inheritance of the Ling family's destruction of the major sects, the sword realm can be divided into 5 levels. The first level is the realm of sword energy turning into light. Only cultivators who have entered this realm can be called sword cultivators. After reaching this realm, sword cultivators can also use their own sword energy to attack, unlike ordinary cultivators who can only use the sword energy contained in the flying sword to attack. As for the sword cultivators who have entered the second level of the sword, like lightning speed realm, the flying swords they shoot at are faster than thunder, with extremely amazing speed and extraordinary power. As for the master mentioned by Ling Wanchuan, the current number 1 sword cultivator of the Ling family, Ling Pengyun, he had entered the second level of the sword path decades ago when he fought to the death to defend Lingxiao Mountain during the Little Demon Rebellion. He suddenly gained enlightenment and created the first move of the Star Gold Sword Manual. After many years, He had already taken advantage of the enlightenment brought by the breath of yin and yang Taichu Qi given to him by Ling Pengyun more than 40 years ago when he turned to the ghost path and raised his sword path realm to the realm of refining swords into silk. After reaching this realm, the sword energy can be turned into silk, which is very good at breaking yang. When countless sword silks are used together, the defensive magic weapon with the same cultivation level as the sword cultivator is not a match for one blow. And this realm is generally only for the sword cultivators in the golden core realm, who have the opportunity to enter. There are very few sword cultivators who have comprehended this realm when they were building their foundation like Ling Pengyun, even among the sword cultivators in the entire northern wilderness immortal cultivation world. The fourth level's one sword creates all methods. With one strike, it can transform into thousands of sword lights with 1/10 of the power of the original body. This realm is comparable to the true lord of the Yuanying Dao. The last level is to induce the true meaning of the Dao to integrate into the sword. At this time, Ling Wangsu, who always had a cold face, had dark eyes. After a while, he just replied, "It is right to pay homage to Grandpa Pengyun." Ling Wanchuan nodded lightly, and then rushed to the Ghost Star Valley in a corner of the clan land with Ling Wanchuan. This time, like the previous times they came here to pay homage to Ling Pengyun, they did not see Ling Pengyun, but only found Ling Pengyun's servant Wang Shi and his grandson in the valley. Wang Shi and his grandson still said the same thing as before, but they said that their master Ling Pengyun was still in seclusion for cultivation. As for the fact that Ling Pengyun had come out of retreat and even left Ghost Star Island, they did not say it. As the ghost servants of Ling Pengyun, the two ghosts knew what to say and what not to say. They would never say anything that should not be said, even if they knew that Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu were no different from master and apprentice with Ling Pengyun, and their relationship was very deep. Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu also left Ghost Star Valley with disappointment, and went to find their relatives in a city near the clan land, stayed with them, and chatted with them. They were both born in the mortal world, and because they had not practiced Taoism for a long time and were not very old, their parents were still alive. At the same time, in the center of the mortal city, Lingxiao City, there was a luxurious courtyard. "Wanchuan, why don't you stay in the clan and practice well, and go back home?" A farmer who had just been working in a few acres of fields in the courtyard, who looked a bit like Ling Wanchuan, saw Ling Wanchuan flying into the house from outside the courtyard. His expression was happy, but the joy on his face quickly disappeared, and turned into a serious look, and he scolded Ling Wanchuan. "Dad, I have to go on a long trip recently, and I just came home." Ling Wanchuan raised a bitter smile when he heard his father's words. At this time, a middle-aged lady wearing an apron, with excellent temperament and excellent maintenance, walked out of the kitchen in the courtyard, which was constantly spreading the aroma of food. She was holding a spatula for cooking. As soon as she appeared, she resented Ling Wanchuan's old father who looked like a farmer. "What are you doing? Wanchuan is going on a long trip, can't he go home?" Then, she naggled to Ling Wanchuan who had just returned home with a kind look. "Wanchuan, how far are you going this time? How long will it take you to come back? Will it be dangerous?" Ling Wangsu's eyebrows moved slightly, and a reassuring smile appeared on his face. "Not far, it won't take long to come back, and it's not dangerous. There will be many cultivators and clansmen going with me." After speaking, he said with a little helplessness, "By the way, mother and father, you two are not young anymore. Didn't I tell you to stay at home and don't work as hard as before? Why are you doing this kind of work again? Where are the maids I summoned before? Why can't I see any of them?" Ling Wanchuan's mother, who was cooking lunch just now, said, "Your father and I have been very strong since we took the longevity pills you gave us. We can do some simple work without any problem. It would be a waste of money to have maids, so I dismissed them before. Your father and I are bored staying at home, so doing some work is just a good way to kill time." At this moment, the farmer Ling Wanchuan's father, who was working in the few acres of farmland, said indifferently, "Yes, the few acres of land I planted now are nothing. When you were not yet an immortal, your father and I planted more than 20 acres of land. Now that your mother and I have nothing to do, we are busy with a few acres of land here. At most, it is just a physical exercise. The ordinary people next door who are about the same age as me are not as strong as your mother and me." Seeing this scene, Ling Wanchuan's face became more helpless. His parents had been ordinary farmers for the first half of their lives, making a living by farming. After many years, they have developed the habit of being restless. Even after Ling Wanchuan entered the Dao, his family became prosperous and his parents were given countless wealth and property by the clan. But his parents still kept the habit of the first half of their lives, and they even opened up fields and vegetable gardens in the large courtyard used for viewing. No matter how Ling Wanchuan persuaded the two old people to enjoy their lives, the two old people still did so. This matter also gave Ling Wanchuan a headache. In desperation, he had to say to his parents, "Okay, I won't bother you if you work properly, but Dad and Mom, you must not work too hard." According to the clan's essence of lifespan, if a mortal works too hard, he will lose essence, and his lifespan will be shortened. The lifespan lost in this way is difficult to make up. Ling Wanchuan's mother muttered a few words and greeted Ling Wanchuan and Ling's father. I know. Wanchuan, come to the kitchen and serve the dishes. I just made your favorite fried tomato and eggs today. By the way, old man, go to the chicken coop in the backyard and catch an old hen. I'll make chicken soup for Wanchuan later." Although Father Ling looked rather stern, he was also concerned about Ling Wanchuan. When he heard his wife's call, he immediately left the farmland and ran to the backyard. Seeing this, Ling Wanchuan's heart warmed up. He followed his mother and went to the kitchen to get busy. Chapter 794, Throwing Tantrums. Ling Chengping. On the other side. It was also a spacious courtyard. "Uncle, you finally came back to see Jair. Did you bring any beautiful clothes for Jair this time?" A girl wearing a white flowered skirt, with extremely fair skin and excellent temperament, who was obviously from a big family, was sitting at a tea table, flipping through a book. She suddenly noticed a noise around her. When she saw that it was a cold young man, her face suddenly burst into smiles. "It's been a few months since we last met. You little girl, you still love beauty as much as before." The cold young man was Ling Wangsu. He looked at the little girl, and a rare smile appeared on his cold face. If there were outsiders here, they would be shocked to see Ling Wangsu smiling. Ling Wangsu had always been cold to others in the Ling family. Even when he met some old foundation building people in the family, he was the same, as if nothing could move him. He was also secretly called the paralyzed sword cultivator by many family members. I didn't expect that Ling Wangsu had such a side. At this time, an old couple and a young couple also walked out of the courtyard. The four people were Ling Wangsu's parents, sister and brother-in-law. The little girl was Ling Wangsu's little niece. The whole family also chatted with each other at this moment. And the scene of cultivators looking for mortal relatives is countless in Lingxiao City, which is home to hundreds of thousands of mortals. At the same time, deep in the Ling clan's territory, Foreign Affairs Hall. On a tea table in a hall. Qianayu, Uncle Pengcheng, the Foreign Affairs Hall needs to do the relocation of mortals and the dispatch of the 7,000 casual cultivators of the Foreign Affairs Hall to various places to garrison. You will have to work hard. I need to retreat and comprehend a magic method in a hurry. Ling Chengsha, the head of the Foreign Affairs Hall, greeted the thin, kind-looking middle-aged cultivator in front of him and Ling Pengcheng, who was full of murderous aura. Ling Pengcheng and Zhang Qianai were the two deputy heads of the Foreign Affairs Hall. The former, because he has no skills, but has rich combat experience and strong management ability for the market, is the owner of the Bayun market in the frontline Bayun Mountains. In addition, his seniority is very high, and his cultivation is as high as the 7th level of foundation building, so he was entrusted with an important task by the family and became a deputy head of the Foreign Affairs Hall. In addition, he has been with a group of casual cultivators from the Foreign Affairs Hall all year round to sit in the Bayun market. As for the thin Zhang Qianayu, he is one of Ling Chengsha's confidants. Although Zhang Qianayu has the qualifications of 3 spiritual roots, he has a very high understanding and his speed of comprehending the exercises is very fast, which indirectly speeds up his cultivation progress. In addition, this person is very good at managing various tedious affairs, so he is valued by Ling Chengsha. Chengsha, you can rest assured to retreat, and I and Taoist Qianai will take care of these chores. Ling Pengcheng, who has a head full of white hair, said with a smile. Yes, Hall Master. Zhang Qianai also spoke at this moment. Ling Chengsha smiled, patted the storage bag on his waist and summoned 2 jade pendant-shaped magic weapons from it, and handed them to Ling Pengcheng and Zhang Qianai respectively. This is a quasi-3rd-level protective magic weapon I asked for from my father. Once in danger, as long as you transfer spiritual power into it, You can activate an extremely powerful defensive light curtain. Even a pseudo-Dan realm cultivator will need 3 attacks to break it. It can even withstand the full strength attack of a giant and early stage cultivator. However, after each use of this magic weapon, it needs 3 days of warming before it can be used again. Seeing this, Ling Pengyun and Zhang Qianyu's eyes lit up. With these 2 magic weapons, they will be much safer when they are stationed in the front line of the Banished Mountains in the near future. And this kind of magic weapon, they can't get it on weekdays. Even Ling Pengyun is the same, he can get a second-level upper-grade protective magic weapon. However, it is extremely difficult to refine a quasi-third-level protective magic weapon. In the entire Ling family, only Ling Pengyun, a third-level weapon refiner, can refine it. And refining this kind of quasi-third-level magic weapon also requires third-level spiritual materials. These are difficult for them, the foundation-building cultivators, to get. It is precisely for this reason that Ling Pengyun and Zhang Qianyu are extremely grateful to Lingxiao. The 2 of them also thanked Lingxiao for a long time. 1 year later, when you are stationed with me in the front line of the Banished Mountains, if you survive well, you will be worthy of the 2 treasures I gave you today. Lingxiao's eyes flickered and he said. After that, he left the place. Ling Pengyun and Zhang Qianyu, the 2 deputy hall masters of the Foreign Affairs Hall who are still here, also showed a gloomy expression because of what Lingxiao just said. Because of their higher cultivation, the place where they were stationed during the monster rebellion 1 year later was the front line of the Banished Mountains, just like Lingxiao. After a long while, the 2 finally reacted. Zhang Qianyu also spoke at this moment. Fellow Taoist Pengyun, supervising the monks of the Foreign Affairs Hall, the matter of relocating mortals is a waste of time and extremely boring, so leave it to me. Ling Pengyun heard this and a look of satisfaction appeared on his face. Over the years, as the deputy head of the Foreign Affairs Hall, he watched the head of the hall, Lingxiao, promote Zhang Qianyu, an outsider, to serve as a senior official of the Foreign Affairs Hall because he was thinking of Zhang Qianyu's way of doing things. Zhang Qianyu never competed with others. He was willing to take on any hard work and was very self-aware. Fellow Taoist Qianyu, you are on the verge of breaking through the late stage of foundation building, and there is still nearly a year before the monster beast chaos. This period of time is enough for you to retreat. If you can break through, it will also be of great benefit to the family. Then let me handle the more tedious matter of relocating mortals, and you will be responsible for the simple work of dispatching the 7,000 monks of the Foreign Affairs Hall to various places to garrison. Ling Pengyun said with a smile. Zhang Qianyu saw some kindness on Ling Pengyun's face, and he was indeed on the verge of a breakthrough, so he nodded. Thank you for this, Brother Pengyun. I will repay you in the future. It's a small matter, I'm doing things for the family. Ling Pengyun said. At the same time, on the top of Lingxiao Mountain, in a cave. Uncle Pengyun, please give me another quasi-third-level protective magic weapon, just one last one. Ling Qianping, who was nearly 100 years old, was like a teenage girl at this time, holding Ling Pengyun's right hand and acting coquettishly. Ling Pengyun looked at this scene with a very dark face. Just now, I gave you 4 quasi-third-level protective magic weapons. What else do you want? Do you have to empty my storage bag, Uncle Pengyun, before you are satisfied? Ling Qianping's eyes were watery and she said coquettishly. Uncle Pengyun, isn't this a dangerous monster rebellion? I am weak, and this time I am going to the front line with my family to guard the Banished Mountains. If I don't have a few powerful defensive means to protect myself, I am afraid I will have no chance of survival. Are you going to watch my daughter in danger during the monster rebellion? And, Uncle Pengyun, over the years, I have cultivated 3 Earth-type silkworm kings in the foundation building period and 1 silkworm king in the middle stage of the foundation building period for my family. The thousands of Earth-type silkworms in the family are still waiting for me to take care of them. When Ling Pengyun heard the word daughter, looked at Ling Qianping's appearance, and what Ling Qianping said about the Earth-type spiritual silkworms, his heart softened immediately. Ling Qianping is the #1 person in the family who raises silkworms today. Her silkworm cultivation has reached the 2nd level middle grade. At the same time, she is also the only 2nd level silkworm breeder in the family. The other dozen silkworm breeders in the family are still hovering at the 1st level. In addition, the family's original dozens of earth-bearded silkworms have also reached thousands of them after decades of cultivation. Every year, The group of earth-bearded silkworms can also spit out thousands of kilograms of first-level and second-level earth-bearded silk. This batch of silk is worth at least tens of thousands of spiritual stones, and this silk is a good material for refining array flags. The family generally keeps it for their own use and uses it to refine array formations to maximize profits. The array formations stored by the family can also increase by dozens every year because of the group of earth-bearded silkworms. It can be said that the group of earth-bearded silkworms raised by Ling Pengyun are extremely important to the family. And Ling Pengyun, the hero who developed and expanded the group of earth-bearded silkworms, is naturally more important. In terms of emotion and reason, Ling Pengyun should indeed give Ling Pengyun more defensive means. But when Ling Pengyun thought of Ling Pengyun's strong wealth, his face became a little darker. Your cultivation level of the middle stage of foundation building is still low. Moreover, don't you have enough defensive means on you? During the Spring Festival last year, you asked for a prototype of a defensive magic weapon from me. In the same year, you asked for 3 third-level low-grade defensive talismans from your aunt Sai. The year before last, during the Spring Festival. Roughly speaking, you have more than a dozen defensive means on you that can resist giant and cultivators. I'm afraid that ordinary giant and early-stage cultivators will not pose any threat to you in a short time. I'm afraid that in the whole family, except for giant and cultivators like me, you are the safest one in the monster rebellion. Even so, you are still pretending to be pitiful. You were not beaten enough when you were a child. As someone else's wife, you still have to be beaten, right? Seeing this, Ling Pengyun was not afraid. Instead, she squeezed out 2 tears and said to Ling Pengyun with red eyes, "Dad, if you want to beat your daughter, then go ahead." Ling Pengyun stared at Ling Pengyun with anger. Seeing that Ling Pengyun was not afraid and looked pitiful, and called him dad again, he sighed helplessly. Then, he took out a talisman from his storage bag and handed it to Ling Pengyun. "I really don't have a quasi third-level protective magic weapon on me. Take this third-level low-grade defensive talisman." Ling Pengyun's eyes suddenly lit up and she immediately took it, but she still didn't leave, and continued to use a delicate tone to say to Ling Pengyun, "Dad, it's not enough." Ling Pengyun's suppressed anger suddenly broke out. "Get out." He raised his hand and waved, and then mobilized a huge amount of spiritual power to blast Ling Pengyun out of the cave. The door of the cave was also closed. At this time, Lin Fan, who had been waiting at the door of the cave, also came up. Seeing the look on his wife Ling Pengyun's face, he immediately understood what Ling Pengyun had just done, and a bitter smile rose on his face. "Madam, there are so many families, and Daddy is also in trouble. Don't use this method of throwing a tantrum in the future to embarrass Daddy. What do you know? If I wasn't afraid that you would get into trouble during the monster rebellion, I wouldn't ask Daddy for so many defensive treasures." Ling Pengyun, who was still delicate and coquettish, suddenly changed her expression and said angrily. Lin Fan also knew that he was wrong, so he didn't dare to speak. But at this moment, a snort of anger suddenly came from the tightly closed cave. "For the sake of Lin Fan's son-in-law being sensible, I will give you 2 more third-level middle-grade defensive talismans, you crazy girl. Don't even think about taking any spiritual objects from me in the future. Get out of Lingxiao Mountain." As soon as these words fell, 2 talismans with a bright spiritual light flew through the cave and landed in front of Ling Pengyun. Ling Pengyun's expression changed, and her tearful face suddenly burst into a smile. She also said loudly to the tightly closed cave at this moment, "Thank you, Dad." Lin Fan beside her also thanked him. At the same time, in the hall inside the cave, Ling Pengyun's eyes flashed brightly. With the help of pupil technique, he looked at Ling Pengyun outside the cave, who was like a living treasure, and his face was full of helplessness. This crazy girl is getting harder and harder to control. In comparison, Cheng Xia, that bad boy, seems to be better. Chapter 795, The Humiliation of Ghost Servant Wang Shi and Wang Yu. A few days later, a black shadow quietly entered the Ling clan land, and this black shadow went straight to Lingxiao Mountain. After a long time, the black shadow left Lingxiao Mountain and entered the Ghost Star Valley. At the same time, Wang Shi and his grandson, who were in a cave deep in the valley to absorb ghost energy for cultivation, felt something and opened their eyes at the first time, walked out of their respective training rooms, and left the cave. They saw Ling Pengyun, who had left the Ghost Star Valley for a year. After not seeing Ling Pengyun for a year, the two felt that Ling Pengyun was unfathomable. In fact, At this moment, they had not even noticed Ling Penxing's breath. If Ling Penxing had not stood in front of them, they would have found it difficult to detect Ling Penxing's trace. The two thought that a year ago, when Ling Penxing came out of retreat in the Ghost Star Valley, he had already reached the perfect foundation of cultivation. Recently, he disappeared inexplicably for a whole year. Wang Shi and his grandson trembled suddenly, and a hint of surprise appeared on them. At this moment, the older Wang Shi also bravely asked Ling Penxing curiously, "Master, have you entered the Golden Core Great Dao?" Ling Penxing also frowned. "When did you become so irritable?" When Wang Shi heard this, he felt a chill on his back. He immediately knelt on the ground without saving face and kowtowed to Ling Penxing 3 times. "Master, I just hope that you can ascend to the Great Dao. I hope you won't be angry." His granddaughter Wang Yu also knelt down with a look of fear on her face. Wang Shi and Wang Yu have been ghost servants beside Ling Penxing for decades. They all know Ling Penxing's methods. He is a real killing god. A few years ago, Ling Penxing directly killed a ghost cultivator of the Ling family who spread the news that there was a ghost bane in the family's Ghost Star Valley. He killed all his relatives, let alone the 2 of them, who were just servants. Besides, the 2 ghosts still hoped that Ling Penxing would help them ascend to a higher path. At this moment, Ling Penxing saw Wang Shi and Wang Yu kneeling down, and his frown relaxed slightly. Then, he said sternly, "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask in the future. I will tell you. I will tell you. In addition, I believe you also know about the arrangements made by the clan for the monster beast chaos. The Ghost Foundation spiritual objects used by the 2 of you when you first entered the Foundation building were given by the clan. Over the years, you have also used a lot of monster beast souls given by the clan. It's time to use you too. In half a year, follow me to the Bayun Mountains, which is the closest to the monster clan in my Ling clan and even in our Yan country, to guard." The fear on the faces of Wang Shi and Wang Yu, who were still kneeling, suddenly increased countless times. Although they knew early on that they had to help the Ling clan resist the monster beast invasion during the monster beast chaos, they had always thought that they only needed to stay in the clan to guard during the monster beast chaos, and then take action if the clan was in danger. They were not going to the front line in the Bayun Mountains to take charge. The 2 ghosts had already heard about the fact that Yan State had offended the Red Gold Bear clan, a demon clan. The front line in the Bayun Mountains was not just the front line of the Ling family, but the front line of the entire Yan State. By then, there would be at least 10 or more giant and cultivators gathered there. The Red Gold Bear clan would send out giant and demon kings to attack Yan State, and the number would certainly not be small. By then, there would probably be at least 20 giant and warriors on the front line. And the key training and foundation building warriors would certainly be countless. Once the battle between the human and demon sides began, the land would certainly become a meat grinder. As their grandfather and grandson were only ghost cultivators in the early stage of foundation building, the probability of their death was very high. "Master, you and I are still at the foundation building stage. Once we are far away from the ghost banes here, the ghost energy in our bodies will slowly dissipate. Moreover, after a battle, the ghost energy consumed in our bodies will not be easily replenished. Our combat power is not much at all. Under such circumstances, you and I are not suitable to go to the front line at all." Ling Penxing said sternly, "I will call you. Of course, there are ways to keep you in the outside world for a long time, and there are ways to restore your consumed ghost energy. This matter is settled." After saying that, he took out 2 ghost bottles from the storage bag and threw them to Wang Shi and Wang Yu respectively. "Take these 6 late-stage foundation building beast souls. You 2 ghosts take 3 each. Try to improve your cultivation in the last 6 months. You don't need to look like you're going to die. You guessed right. I have indeed entered the Golden Core realm. If you were in danger while I was stationed in the Bayun Mountains during the monster beast riot, I would not stand idly by." Ling Penxing naturally knew how dangerous it was to be stationed in the Bayun Mountains. If it weren't for the danger of being stationed in the Bayun Mountains, he would not have planned to take Wang Shi and Wang Yu to the front line in half a year. Wang Shi and Wang Yu both have good qualifications. In the future, they will at least have the opportunity to enter the middle stage of foundation building. The younger female ghost Wang Yu has the opportunity to enter the late stage of foundation building. After decades of getting along, Ling Penxing is also quite satisfied with Wang Shi and Wang Yu, the 2 loyal ghost cultivators. He also doesn't want these 2 ghosts to die tragically at the mouths of monster beasts in the future. The two ghosts, Wang Shi and Wang Yu, who were originally terrified, were filled with endless joy after hearing that their master had entered the Golden Core realm. Although, in recent years, there have been several Ling family cultivators who have turned to the ghost path and want to use the ghost path to break through to a higher realm and extend their lifespan like Ling Pengyun. However, the qualifications of those Ling family ghost cultivators are not good enough. They are still struggling in key training. In addition, their lifespans are not much, and their chances of entering the foundation building stage in the future are also very slim. Under such circumstances, Ling Pengyun, the first person in the Ling family ghost path, has entered the Golden Core realm again. Without thinking too much, Wang Shi and Wang Yu can guess that the Ling family will definitely give them more cultivation resources in the future because of their good ghost talent and the face of Ling Pengyun, the Golden Core ghost cultivator. By then, their cultivation speed will definitely be faster than before, and their chances of reaching a higher realm will be a little greater. Although the old Wang Shi knew that if there was no great opportunity, he would probably only be in the middle or late stage of foundation building in this life, his precious granddaughter Wang Yu's ghost talent was not weak. Perhaps if the Ling family invested more resources to cultivate her, Wang Yu would have a chance to reach the best period of breakthrough to the golden elixir, reach the perfection of foundation building, and have the opportunity to break through the golden elixir. And if this could be accomplished. Thinking of this, the old Wang Shi suddenly laughed foolishly. The very beautiful ghost cultivator Wang Yu on the side was the same. The two were so happy that they even forgot to take the two ghost bottles handed by Ling Pengyun. Instead, they bowed and congratulated Ling Pengyun. Congratulations to the master for entering the Golden Elixir Avenue. In the future, the master will be evergreen on the avenue and reach a higher realm. Seeing the appearance of Wang Shi and Wang Yu, Ling Pengyun was also quite satisfied. He also sent out a spiritual power to help the two ghosts up. Okay, get up. Then he asked another question. By the way, have Wan Chuan and Wang Su come to Ghost Star Valley to look for me recently? Wang Shi saw Ling Pengyun's question and put away the joy on his face, and said carefully. Yes, just a few days ago. However, after you and I pretended to tell the master that you were still in seclusion trying to break through the foundation building perfection and had not yet come out of seclusion, Wan Chuan and Wang Su left a letter each and left the valley, and went to visit their parents in the mortal city outside the clan. After saying that, Wang Shi took out two letters from his arms and handed them to Ling Pengyun. There was not much content in the two letters. The letter written by Ling Wanchuan had more, but it was only about 100 words. Grandpa Pengyun, ever since I refined my second life spirit planned, the Qingshi Lingxiao, into my life flying sword, I have wanted to become a sword cultivator like you, able to control the flying sword to travel freely in the sky. At the beginning, I was just a layman in the way of the sword, and for a long time I was unable to formally enter the real way of the sword. It was Grandpa Pengyun who brought me to your side, and with your teachings, I have gained the reputation of being a sword cultivator today. In this life, it is an honor for me, the junior, to be able to worship as your disciple, Grandpa Pengyun, and to receive your guidance, and the monster rebellion is coming, and as a member of the family, I will soon go to the front line of the Bayun Mountains to garrison. Grandpa Pengyun, you are a ghost cultivator, and it is difficult for you to leave the Ghost Star Valley. Perhaps, in the future, we will never have the chance to meet again. The junior would like to wish Grandpa Pengyun in advance that you can successfully enter the realm of perfect foundation building during your retreat this time. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 796: The Friendship Between Ling Wanchuan, Ling Wangsu and Ling Pengyun. Ling Wangsu, who always looked at people with a cold face and was known as the expressionless sword cultivator, wrote only a few dozen words. Grandpa Pengyun, I am Wangsu. I will rush to the front line of Bayun Mountains to guard. When the monsters are in chaos and fighting with monsters, I will definitely use the sword in my hand to do my best to kill the monsters in front of me and not embarrass you, Grandpa Pengyun. After a while, when Ling Pengyun finished watching, he also raised a touch of relief on his face. They are two good children. As soon as he finished speaking, he cast two communication talismans and walked into the cave deep in the valley. The two ghost servants, Wang Shi and Wang Yu, looked at the back of their master Ling Pengyun, and their faces were full of joy. After a long time, the two came back to their senses. The female ghost cultivator Wang Yu, who had better qualifications and was younger, also moved her eyes to the soul-collecting bottle in front of her, which contained the souls of 3 late-stage foundation-building monsters. 2 brilliant rays of light flashed in her eyes. With the help of the 3 souls in this bottle, I will definitely be able to enter the 3rd level of foundation building in the 6 months before I go to Baiyun Mountains. She muttered to herself. Wang Shi, who was standing by, also noticed the 3 demon beast souls that Ling Pengyun gave him. After hesitating for a moment, he also handed his 3 demon beast souls to his granddaughter Wang Yu. The 3 demon beast souls in the late stage of foundation building in this bottle are for you. Wang Yu quickly refused. Grandpa, the demon beast souls in the late stage of foundation building are good things. Once you refine them, you will definitely be able to raise your cultivation to the peak of the 2nd level of foundation building in a short period of time. Even the 3rd level of foundation building is not impossible. And the demon beast rebellion is coming again. We will follow the master to the front line of Baiyun Mountains. You will be safer if you have cultivation. If you give it to me, it will be extremely dangerous according to your cultivation level of entering the 2nd level of foundation building. Wang Shi said. My life is basically over, but you are different. You have extraordinary talent in the ghost way, and your talent in the future is limitless. The master has entered the golden elixir realm. If you can enter the perfect foundation building realm when you are at the best time to break through the golden elixir, given the master's temperament, I should be able to give you a ghostway golden elixir spiritual object. And to reach that step, you must be able to survive in the upcoming monster beast chaos. What you said just now is indeed true. Only with high cultivation and strong strength can you have a greater chance of survival. Now, your cultivation has basically reached the peak of the 2nd level of foundation building. If you can combine the souls of 6 monster beasts in the late stage of foundation building, you are afraid that there is at least a 30% chance of entering the middle stage of foundation building. Wang Shi looked at his granddaughter Wang Yu with expectation and spoke. Wang Yu's heart was also very warm, but she was also a very filial person. How could she take away the resources of her grandfather, who had depended on her since childhood for her own cultivation? Grandpa. Wang Shi touched his granddaughter Wang Yu's head, his voice soft and firm. Don't forget, when you have a higher level of cultivation, you can not only improve your chances of survival in the monster beast rebellion, but you can also protect me, your grandpa. I have made up my mind about this matter, no need to say more. If you really want to, why don't you give me more resources after the monster beast rebellion? After saying that, Wang Shi went into a quiet room in the cave alone. Wang Yu looked at the back of Grandpa Wang Shi and sighed helplessly. She also looked at the bottle of soul collecting bottle given by Grandpa Wang Shi. On her face, which was a little illusory, as if it was not a physical body but a projection, but extremely beautiful, there was also a little more determination. Grandpa gave up such a good opportunity to improve his cultivation in the monster beast rebellion, just to achieve it for me alone. I must not let Grandpa down. She also went into a quiet room in the cave afterwards. Not long after that, Ling Wanchuan, the spiritual plant husband who was accompanying his family in the mortal city, and Ling Wangsu, the paralyzed sword cultivator, also returned to the clan land together and entered the Ghost Star Valley, where they met Ling Pengyun. Grandpa Pengyun, you finally came out of seclusion. I thought I would not be able to see you again this time. By the way, Grandpa Pengyun, you have been in seclusion for several years this time. Have you successfully entered the state of perfect foundation building? Ling Wanchuan, who looked like a farmer and had dark skin, was very happy to see Ling Pengyun. He also asked Ling Pengyun with a smile. Ling Wangsu, who had a cold face on the side, also looked a little curious, and he also looked at Ling Pengyun. Obviously, he also wanted to know whether Ling Pengyun had entered the state of perfect foundation building. Now, Ling Pengyun has no breath, and Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu can hardly detect Ling Pengyun's cultivation with the help of their spiritual sense. Not only have you reached the perfect foundation, but you have also gained something. Ling Pengyun's serious face also showed a little more smile. Just as he finished speaking, a majestic aura suddenly spread out from his body, sweeping all around. The Golden Core Realm. Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu were stunned and almost exclaimed. Don't stay here. I haven't taught you sword knowledge for several years because I was in seclusion to achieve the perfect foundation and the golden core realm. After I entered the golden core, I have a different understanding of the sword, and the sword path has also improved a little. For the next 6 months, you two will stay here with me to practice the sword. As for your going to the front line of the Bayun Mountains in the second half of the year, I have already made an agreement with my brother Pengyun. At that time, I will take you there to garrison. Seeing the expressions of the two, Ling Pengyun smiled and said. The eyes of Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu suddenly lit up. Ling Pengyun's swordsmanship level is as high as the 3rd level, refining the sword into silk, and if his swordsmanship level is further improved, then... After the two of them congratulated Ling Pengyun on his entry into the golden core, Ling Wanchuan asked expectantly. Grandpa Pengyun, have you entered the 4th level of the one sword creates all laws? Ling Pengyun said. You kid thinks too highly of me. My swordsmanship has only improved a little bit, and I still have a long way to go to the 4th level of the one sword creates all laws. Then, Ling Pengyun also began to ask Ling Wanchuan and Ling Wangsu if they had any doubts in the swordsmanship recently, and they started to discuss the Dao. At the same time, in the mortal city Lingxiao City outside the clan land, although it is luxuriously decorated, there are several acres of fields in the courtyard, which seems out of place. And next to the acres of fields, Ling Wanchuan's parents are looking in the direction of the clan land, with a little more worry between their brows. In the past, Ling Wanchuan would go home to visit the two elders whenever he had time, and he would basically go home more than 10 times a year, but each time he would only stay for a day at most. He had never stayed for 3 or 4 days like this time. Even if Ling Wanchuan concealed it well at home, as parents, how could they not guess that the long journey that Ling Wanchuan would take soon would be extremely dangerous? The degree of danger might have threatened Ling Wanchuan's life. However, although it was wise, the two elders never pointed it out, just enjoying the days with their only son Ling Wanchuan. After all, once the peace was broken, perhaps this gathering would no longer be so warm. As for stopping Ling Wanchuan from taking that long journey, the two elders could not do it. On that day, when Ling Wanchuan returned home, he had already explained that when he went on that long journey, many cultivators would go with him. Under such circumstances, even if the two elders were just mortals, they could guess that it was related to the family. The two old men also have family blood in them, and they have always been proud of being ordinary members of the Ling family. They can live such a good life today, and their son Ling Wanchuan can become a legendary foundation-building master, all thanks to the family. They are also reasonable people, and how could they delay the family's affairs in order to let their only son Ling Wanchuan avoid danger? I just hope Wanchuan can be safe and sound this time. In the same place, Ling Wanchuan's father, who is like a strict father, is no less worried than Ling's mother at this moment, and he also sighed softly. When Ling's mother heard this, she shuddered, her eyes turned red, and a trace of mist appeared in her eyes. In Lingxiao City, in a courtyard not far away, Ling Wangsu's family, like Ling Wanchuan's parents, is looking in the direction of the clan land that Ling Wangsu went to when he left home just now. Mom, when will Uncle come home? Just now, when Uncle left, he promised me that when we meet next time, he would bring me a robe made of the fur of the legendary white fox monster. Ling Wangsu's mortal sister Ling Jia is still an 8 or 9-year-old child. At this moment, she is innocently pulling her mother's clothes and asking. But this girl doesn't understand anything. Her words also made Ling Wangsu's parents, sister and brother-in-law look dark, and they didn't say anything for a long time. This also made the little girl Ling Jia confused, but she was still naively imagining what the robe made of white fox fur that her uncle Ling Wangsu said would look like, and whether it was really as beautiful as her uncle Ling Wangsu said. Chapter 797, Cooperation between the Ling, Yang, and Liang families. A few days later, 2 streams of light flew rapidly from the territory of Qingshi Mountain to the guest reception hall outside the Ling clan's territory, which was specially used to entertain guests. After a while, Ling Pengyun also walked out of the clan's territory and entered the guest reception hall. A steady middle-aged man wearing a Taoist robe of the Poan Mountain Liang family and a middle-aged man wearing a Taoist robe of the Pengyun Yang family, who had been waiting for a long time on the chairs on both sides of the hall, stood up at this moment and bowed to Ling Pengyun very politely. Ancestor Ling. Ling Pengyun heard this and his face became more satisfied. He also spoke to the 2 people in front of him. You two are both in the Jade realm with me, and you are my fellow Taoists. You can just call me Taoist friends, and there is no need to call me ancestor like the foundation-building cultivators. And I am also very happy that you two Taoists can come to my Ling family for a gathering on time this time. I will trouble you to make this trip this time. The extremely stable-looking Poi Liang family giant and Liang Mingta saw Ling Pengyun being so polite, but still did not lose his manners, and still used the same attitude of a lower status to talk to Ling Pengyun. The ancestor helped me enter the false elixir realm that year, and I have never forgotten it. Just for that day's kindness, I should call you ancestor. As for our coming, it is not a big deal, and it is also our duty to be on time. The Pengyun Yang family's giant and Yang Siki also agreed at this moment. Brother Liang is right. If it weren't for the old ancestor who helped me buy a golden elixir spiritual object, I wouldn't have achieved my current cultivation. I should call you old ancestor. More than a decade ago, when the Ling family was still a foundation-building force, the Yang family was taken over. Because their upper sect Bailingmen thought they were too powerful and they had the support of the faction of the Lingfu patriarch of the Bailingmen, the Yang family was suppressed by the cultivators of the faction of the Bailingmen sect master, Bailingxianrun. In fact, if it weren't for the protection of the Lingfu patriarch's faction, this family might have been wiped out by the Bailingmen. It was precisely because of this situation that even if this family had saved enough spiritual stones, it was still difficult to get the golden elixir spiritual object with the help of the upper sect giant and force Bailingmen. It was too dangerous for the Yang family, a foundation-building force, to buy the golden elixir spiritual object with their own strength. After all, the golden elixir spiritual object was something that even the golden elixir cultivators were tempted by. Only when the real person of the middle stage of the golden elixir or above was in charge could they have the opportunity to safely go to the outside world to buy the golden elixir spiritual object. At that time, the faction of Lingfu patriarch did not have a great cultivator of the middle stage of Jinden. At that time, this faction was also short of Jinden spiritual objects. They could protect Pengyun Yang clan because of Yang Xiling, who was from Yang clan. Lingfu patriarch was naturally unwilling to give the precious Jinden spiritual objects to Yang clan. Then Yang clan had no choice but to ask Ling clan, a Jinden family with a good relationship with the family, and entrusted Ling Pengyun to help buy an ordinary Jinden spiritual object from the outside world. Moreover, this clan was willing to leave Bailingmen and become a subsidiary force of Ling clan after a Jinden cultivator was born in the family. If it were an ordinary force, Ling clan would naturally look down on it, but Yang clan helped Ling clan a lot during the small demon chaos. If it were not for Yang Mingxian, the old senior of Yang clan, who sacrificed his life to save him, the current third-level formation master Ling Pengyun, Jinden ghost cultivator Ling Pengxing, fire method Jinden Ling Pengyun and other talents would not be able to live to this day. Therefore, Ling Pengyun gave Yang this face and agreed to help him buy the golden elixir spirit objects from the outside world. However, Ling Pengyun had not found any spare golden elixir spirit objects at that time, so the matter was delayed again and again. However, a few years ago, Ling Pengyun went to the Meteorite Sea and got a lot of golden elixir spirit objects. He also fulfilled the agreement of that year and gave a golden elixir spirit object to Yang. And the genius alchemist of Yang, who had the same name as Ling Chengxin, also used the golden elixir spirit object and a technique of refining spiritual consciousness to successfully condense a lower-level golden elixir, and used the formation of the Jiamang Lake branch of the Lingfu Patriarch's faction to block the golden elixir thunder turbulation and successfully entered the golden elixir realm. Afterwards, this clan also kept its promise. With the participation of Ling, the Pengyun Yang clan successfully left the Bailing sect and joined the Ling clan. Although, for this reason, the Yang family had to give up the clan land and all businesses that had been operated in the Bailingmen territory for thousands of years, the Ling family, which had more land, also gave this clan a very generous treatment. When this clan was just incorporated into the Ling family gave this clan 500 first-level and second-level spiritual veins in the Xixi Ridge territory, as long as the clan handed over a certain amount of resources in the future. And this Pengyun Yang family also became the second Jinden force in the Xixi Ridge territory. The Poi Liang family, where the fake Dan real person Liang Mingta was located, was the first Jinden force in the Xixi Ridge territory. This clan controlled a large number of spiritual veins in the Xixi Ridge territory, more than 1,000. In the early years, when the Ling family opened up the Xixi Ridge, the people of the Liang family also made a lot of efforts. It was also for this reason that Ling Pengyun later gave Liang Ming to 2 second-class Jinden spiritual objects and a demon beast Jinden to assist him in entering the fake Dan realm. However, the Pengyun Yang family took away more than 500 spiritual veins in the Purple Scorpion Ridge, and the Poi Liang family took away more than 1,000 spiritual veins. However, this land with more than 2,000 spiritual veins still has 500 spiritual veins controlled by the Ling family. The Ling family now has a lot of land, so naturally there is no shortage of more than 500 spiritual veins. The reason why these more than 500 spiritual veins were left behind is that the Ling family intimidated the Pengyun Yang family and the Poi Liang family in the Purple Scorpion Ridge to let the people of these two families know who the owner of the Purple Scorpion Ridge is, so that these two Jinden forces will not stay in the Purple Scorpion Ridge for too long and forget who is the big and small king. At the same time, the Ling family arranged the Yang family to the Purple Scorpion Ridge, and also wanted to use the familiar hands of the Yang family to watch over the Poi Liang family. In order to prevent this old Jinden force, which was originally in the hands of the Yuanguo Yuanying family, the Li family, from having a rebellious heart. At this time, Ling Pengyun was in a good mood when he saw the attitudes of Liang Mingtu, the fake elixir cultivator of the Poi Liang family, and Yang Siki, the golden elixir cultivator of the Pengyun Yang family. There was a little more smile on his face. You two are too polite. We won't talk about small talk anymore. It's time to talk about business. The monster rebellion is coming. I'm sure you two fellow Taoists are aware of it. The Purple Scorpion Ridge where you are is one of the two closest to the monster clan among the 5 major territories of our clan. This territory is also adjacent to the Ice and Snow White Lion clan territory of the monster clan. Although this clan had a large number of Jinden demon kings killed by our clan and the Black Mountain Zhao family, the strongest Jinden family under the Xiangxing sect, now there are only 2 Jinden demon kings left in this clan, but the cultivation bases of the 2 surviving Jinden demon kings are above the late Jinden stage, and our clan has also formed a feud with them because of the large number of demon kings they destroyed back then. When the monster rebellion occurs, this clan will surely take this opportunity to attack the neighboring Purple Scorpion Ridge territory with all their strength. By then, the Purple Scorpion Ridge territory will surely be in chaos. And that territory belongs to our clan after all. In the near future, our clan will send a Jinden cultivator, 100 foundation building warriors, and 3,000 key training cultivators to the Purple Scorpion Ridge territory. This time I came here to find 2 fellow Taoists, because I want your 2 clans to cooperate with our cultivators to garrison the Purple Scorpion Ridge territory and guard that piece of land. In addition, it will cost our clan a lot of spiritual objects to help you to garrison the Purple Scorpion Ridge territory. Therefore, our clan also needs to make up for it a little, so I plan to transfer some of the spiritual objects from your 2 clans. Within half a year, the Yang family will hand over a sum of elixirs worth 50,000 spirit stones. As for you, the Liang family, although there are many people, the wealth is not much. After the war, you can give our clan 30% of the monsters killed by your clan. I wonder if the 2 fellow Taoists are willing to cooperate with this matter. Back then, when the Liang family was still on the side of the Yuan kingdom, all the wealth of this clan was confiscated by the Ling family. In terms of wealth alone, this clan could not even compare to the Yang family. However, there are 8 or 9,000 cultivators in this clan, which is a large number. Although 3/4 of the territory of Purple Scorpion Ridge is now in the hands of Pengyun Yang clan and Poi Liang clan, only 1/4 of the territory belongs to Ling clan. It seems that Ling clan does not need to attach so much importance to that territory and can just hand it over to Yang clan and Liang clan. However, the geographical location of Purple Scorpion Ridge is extremely critical. This territory is the front of Ling clan mountain territory where Ling clan's clan land is located. Once Purple Scorpion Ridge is occupied, the Ice and Snow White Lion clan will lead countless monsters to attack Lingxiao Mountain territory. At that time, Ling clan's clan land will be in danger. During the monster rebellion, the main force of Ling clan was in the Baiyun Mountains of Baiyun Mountain Range, and it was difficult to return to defend. Under such circumstances, Ling Pengyun attached so much importance to Purple Scorpion Ridge territory and sent a lot of people to garrison there. The fact that Ling Pengyun was willing to send cultivators to help guard the Purple Scorpion Ridge also made Yang Siki of the Pengyun Yang family and Liang Mingtu of the Poi Liang family secretly happy. As for the matter of collecting spiritual objects, it was also within their expectations. Considering that they could afford the money and property that Ling Pengyun asked for, they did not hesitate and agreed to it together. However, the experienced Liang Ming asked a question. Ancestor, the Bayun Mountains and the Bayun Mountains, the front line of the entire Yan state, do my clan and the Yang family need to send people to guard it? Ling Pengyun waved his hand. No need, your two families are not strong, just do your best to assist my clan in guarding the Purple Scorpion Ridge. Afterwards, the three forces negotiated some details of the cooperation in guarding the Purple Scorpion Ridge. Chapter 798, Exploiting the Liang and Yang clan. After half a day, this small meeting finally came to an end. Ling Pengyun, Yang Siki, and Liang Mingtu, a fake Dan realm cultivator, also agreed that when the monster beasts were in chaos, they would gather the forces of all forces to seize the third-level lower-grade spiritual mountain, Qingshi Mountain, which they had never dared to occupy. And relying on that third-level spiritual mountain, they would set up a third-level middle-grade attack and defense formation, turning that spiritual mountain into a stronghold to resist the Ice and Snow White Lion clan. The third-level formation to be set up was provided by the Ling family. The Liang family and the Yang family each took out 30,000 spiritual stones and stored them. If the third-level middle-grade formation of Qingshi Mountain was damaged when resisting the monster clan, they could also use the vast amount of spiritual stones to restore the power of the formation in a short time, so that the formation would not be broken by the monster clan. Afterwards, when they were about to leave, Liang Mingtu, the head of the Liang family and a fake Dan realm cultivator, hesitated for a while, and finally asked about what he had been worried about for the past 10 years. Ancestor Ling, we all know that Yan State killed a Yuanying seed of the Red Gold Bear clan in the battle at Bayun Mountains, which provoked the Yuanying demon clan of the Red Gold Bear clan. According to the news, the Taoist companion of the Yuanying demon king of this clan, the Red Kite Bear Queen, has recently tried to win over the Golden Core demon clan of the Red Gold Bear clan, intending to invade Yan State during the monster beast chaos and avenge his son. Under such circumstances, the monster beast chaos that Yan State, a small country under the command of the Xiangxing sect, will face this time is probably extremely dangerous. And the nobles are known as the strongest force in Yan State. I wonder if the nobles are confident that they can lead us Yan State cultivators to defend Yan State. Yang Siki, the newly promoted Golden Core Yang family, also looked at Ling Pengyun at this moment, with a solemn look on his face. Ling Pengyun glanced at the two of them and said calmly, "You two just need to guard the Purple Scorpion Ridge for our clan. As for the matter of the Red Kite Bear Queen, it will be handled by our clan, Bailing Sect, Yao Wang Valley, and Qingshi Taoist Temple. If our Yan Kingdom is really in a critical moment, our Yan Kingdom's top sect, Xiangxing sect, will definitely not sit idly by. Also, I remind you that during the Monster Beast riot, you'd better not violate today's agreement and flee in fear of fighting." After speaking, he looked at Liang Mingtu and Yang Siki coldly. Liang Mingtu and Yang Siki were also a little scared by this look, and the hair on their bodies stood up. Over the years, countless golden elixir monsters have died at the hands of Ling Pengyun, and they both know this. What's more, Liang Mingtu, a real person who was cultivated by the Ling family into the realm of false elixir, was also set up with a life and death restriction in his sea of consciousness by Ling Pengyun. As long as Ling Pengyun had a thought, Liang Mingtu's sea of consciousness would be blown to pieces by the life and death restriction. Yang Siki's entry into the realm of the golden elixir was also closely related to the Ling family. If the Ling family had not found a golden elixir spiritual object for him, and if the Ling family had not mediated when he entered the golden elixir, otherwise Bailingmen would definitely not have seen a golden elixir from the Yang family under its command. From the perspective of the righteousness of the Yang state, it is naturally good for the Yang family to produce a golden elixir. But for the Bailingmen, which already has two major factions, if someone from the Pengyun Yang family, which has a very good relationship with the Lingfu patriarch faction, enters the golden elixir, it is not a good thing for the golden elixir of the faction of the Bailingmen sect master. And because of these two causes and effects, the Yang family not only became a subsidiary force of the Ling family, but the Yang Siki, the golden elixir of the Yang family, also left a trace of consciousness and a drop of essence in blood in the Ling family. Although these two things are of no great use, the Ling family can use these two things to perform secret methods and find Yang Siki's traces everywhere. Under such circumstances, how could they dare to ignore Ling Pengyun's words? The two of them immediately said that they would not flee from the battlefield, and they would lead their own tribesmen to guard the territory of Zixi Ridge during the Monster Beast Rebellion. The coldness in Ling Pengyun's eyes disappeared, and he also spoke. I hope so. And the fake Danzianren Liang Mingtu also plucked up his courage and said again. Ancestor Ling, according to our plan just now, the three of us will occupy the third-level spiritual vein in Zixi Ridge when the Monster Beast Rebellion starts, and if Yamste can safely survive the Monster Beast Rebellion, we can also defend the territory of Zixi Ridge. I wonder which party will the third-level spiritual vein in Zixi Ridge belong to in the future. Now, although the territory of Zixi Ridge is occupied by the three forces of Ling, Yang, and Liang, the third-level spiritual vein and the more than 500 low-level spiritual veins around this spiritual vein close to the Ice and Snow White Lion clan have not been moved by the three forces. Once it is moved during the non-monster rebellion period, it will violate the agreement between the righteous way of the Northern Wilderness cultivation world and the demon tribe, and will attract the revenge of the demon tribe. Ling Pengyun has made plans for the third-level spiritual vein in the territory of Zixi Ridge, and he also said, if it can really quell all the troubles, the third-level spiritual vein will be given to us by our clan, but we need to exchange it for 300,000 war merits from both forces. Whoever can hand in enough demon beast corpses in exchange for enough war merits will get the third-level spiritual vein. Everything is up to you to fight for it. Although the third-level spiritual veins that the Ling family controls are only the two third-level spiritual veins in Lingxiao Mountain and Lingxiao Mountain within the clan territory. However, once the Monster Beast Rebellion started, the Ling family planned to occupy not only the third-level spiritual veins in the Purple Scorpion Ridge, but also the third-level spiritual veins of the Giant Crocodile Island in the Lingxiao Thousand Star Lake and the vast Bayun Mountains, the third-level Thunder veins in the Tayan Ridge, and the three third-level spiritual veins in the Bayun Mountains, so as to build a defense line against the monsters. After all, only the huge spiritual energy provided by the third-level spiritual veins can maintain the operation of the third-level medium and upper-grade formations. And if Yanstei can really avoid a Monster Beast Rebellion, the number of third-level spiritual veins controlled by the Ling family will reach 7. This number of third-level spiritual veins is more than the number of giant and cultivators of the Ling family, which is enough for the Ling family. Under such circumstances, the Ling family has no giant and cultivators to take charge of the third-level spiritual vein in the Purple Scorpion Ridge, and if the Ling family really has 7 third-level spiritual veins, they will not look down on the third-level spiritual vein in the Purple Scorpion Ridge. Instead of doing that, it would be better to promise it to the Pengyun Yang clan and the Poi Liang clan to increase their enthusiasm in the Monster Rebellion. By the way, the Ling clan can also use the third-level spiritual vein to squeeze the Yang clan and the Liang clan and get more monster corpses from the two families. Although the monster corpses are difficult to cash in quickly, the Ling clan already has a giant and faction branch Fire Dragon sect in the prosperous Wubian Heizuxin world. Through this Fire Dragon sect, the Ling clan only needs to refine the monster corpses into various spiritual objects, and the speed of turning them into spiritual stones can be faster. As for Liang Mingtu and Yang Siki, when they heard Ling Pengyun's promise, their eyes also glowed. It is not much to exchange for a third-level spiritual vein with 300,000 war merits equivalent to the value of spiritual stones, and it is still fair. On the market, the value of a third-level inferior spiritual vein is just this much. The third-level spiritual vein is of great significance to the family behind them. The spiritual energy of the third-level spiritual vein is rich, enough to supply the spiritual energy they need for cultivation, and their clansmen can also use the rich spiritual energy to speed up their cultivation. In addition, the third-level spiritual vein can also be used to arrange the third-level formation to protect the safety of the clan. It can also be used to plant a large number of spiritual plants, bringing more benefits. Liang Mingtu and Yang Siki followed and said respectfully to Ling Pengyun, "Thank you, Ancestor Ling, for your kindness. The younger generation will definitely remember it in their hearts." At this time, Ling Pengyun's expression moved, and he no longer wanted to talk to Liang Mingtu and Yang Siki. He then drove them away. "Well, it's almost time. You should return to the territory of Zixi Ridge. My clansmen will arrive soon." Liang Mingtu and Yang Siki heard this. Naturally they would not stay for long, and they also immediately said goodbye to avoid offending the ancestor Ling Pengyun. After the two of them left the reception hall outside the clan land, Ling Pengyun did not leave the reception hall immediately. Instead, he stood at the door of the reception hall and shouted loudly to the void in the distance. "Everyone has left, why doesn't fellow Taoist Zhao show up?" An old voice also came from the void. "Dao Yao's spiritual consciousness is indeed as powerful as the rumors say. No wonder you can control nearly 10 demon corpses and several magic weapons to fight at the same time. It seems that my breath-retaining technique has made a fool of itself in front of you." Then, the void became distorted, and a monk wearing a Taoist robe with a red-haired firewolf pattern, with white hair and an old look walked out of it. In just a moment, the old monk turned into a beam of light and quickly landed outside the reception hall, meeting Ling Pengyun. "You are too kind, fellow Taoist. Your breath-hiding technique is extremely powerful. If you were not so close to me, I would have found it difficult to detect your whereabouts. By the way, fellow Taoist Zhao, what is the purpose of your visit this time?" Ling Pengyun felt a little ashamed when he heard the flattery from the old monk. In the past, he was able to control so many demon corpses and magic weapons in battle, mainly because those demon corpses had some intelligence, and it did not take much effort to mobilize his spiritual consciousness to control those demon corpses. The magic weapons he often used were of extremely high grade and also had some intelligence, so the spiritual consciousness consumed by controlling those magic weapons was naturally not much. In particular, the intelligence of the third-grade upper-grade Xuanyang treasure lamp, which was at the top level of the intermediate life magic weapon, was no weaker than that of an ordinary 8 or 9-year-old child. This treasure lamp also had some ability to fight alone, but it was weaker in combat. Chapter 799 What the Black Mountain Zhao family wants. In addition, Ling Pengyun's spiritual consciousness was strong, and he had practiced the art of tempering spiritual consciousness, so his spiritual consciousness was far superior to that of the cultivators of the same level. For various reasons, he was able to control nearly 10 demon corpses and fight with several magic weapons at the same time in his early years. The old-looking Black Mountain Zhao family elder Zhao Yuanqian naturally thought that Ling Pengyun was being modest. He also had a better impression of Ling Pengyun, whom he had met once during the Ice and Snow White Lion clan's attack on the Ling family. He also explained, "I came to find my fellow Taoist because of the matter of the Ice and Snow White Lion clan. This clan and our clan have been enemies for thousands of years. During this period, we have experienced dozens of monster rebellions. Our clan has also fought with this clan dozens of times, and this clan has killed at least a dozen Jindans Henrin of our clan. My Black Mountain Zhao family will always remember this hatred. Now our clan's great enemy, the Ice and Snow White Lion, is in a period of weakness, with only 2 Jindan late-stage demon kings left. This is a good opportunity that my Zhao family is unwilling to let go. But in recent years, the Thunder Rat clan, which is under the command of the Red Gold Bear clan of the Nascent Soul Demon clan and has mastered a medium-level lightning magical power, has seized several third-level spirit veins and a large amount of foundation from the Thunder Dapan clan, which was weakened by your Yan state forces. As a result, the strength of this clan has rapidly increased, and even the number of Jindan demon kings has skyrocketed by as many as 4 in the past few decades. Moreover, this clan has also gained a rat demon with a perfect Jindan. In terms of strength, this clan is even stronger than the Thunder Pen clan, which was the left and right arm of the Red Gold Bear clan when they were victorious. For this reason, the Yuanying force of our clan, the Xiangxing clan, also spoke early on, asking our clan to mobilize the clan's strength to cooperate with the Rat Demon clan's enemy, the Qingshi Mountain Jiang family, during the Monster Beast Rebellion, to block the Jindan Demon King of the Thunder Rat Demon clan, so as to prevent this clan from causing chaos in the Xiangxing kingdom. Under such circumstances, it is difficult for our clan to send enough Jindan clan members to attack the Ice and Snow White Lion clan and destroy it. More importantly, our clan has also found out that the declining Ice and Snow White Lion clan has had a lot of contact with the Red Kite Bear Queen, the Taoist companion of the Yuanying Bear King of the Red Gold Bear clan. It is estimated that during the Monster Beast Rebellion, the Red Kite Bear Queen, whose only son was killed by your Yan Kingdom, will also send many demon kings to assist the Ice and Snow White Lion clan and attack your clan's territory. It can be said that your tribe and my tribe are now tied to the same boat. Therefore, my tribe wants to join forces with the nobles to deal with the Ice and Snow White Lion tribe. I wonder if you have any ideas about this." Ling Pengyun was shocked when he heard so much information at once. He really didn't know that the Thunder Rat tribe had 4 more Golden Core Demon Kings and 1 more Golden Core Perfect Demon King. Given the temperament of the little mouse in the stepping cloud valley, it would never dare to deceive the information of its mother clan, the Thunder Rat clan. Moreover, this mouse has been sent to the stepping cloud valley by the Thunder Rat clan all year round and has never returned to the place where its mother clan is, only at the end of each year, when its mother clan sends demon rats to the stepping cloud valley to collect the spiritual plants planted by the little mouse. The little mouse has contact with the rats of its mother clan. Thinking about it this way, the little mouse in the stepping cloud valley might have been really exiled and has no status in this clan. It can even be said that it is not regarded as one of its own by the Thunder Rat clan. Otherwise, if the Thunder Rat clan had become so strong, how could they not tell the little mouse in the stepping cloud valley? Even if the Thunder Rat clan wanted to hide their weakness, they would at least tell the matter of the 4 newly born golden core demon kings in their clan. Under such circumstances, the little mouse is really miserable. Not only is it sent to the dangerous Taxo Valley, but the spiritual plants grown in the valley are also confiscated every year. It can hardly make any profit itself and is purely exploited by the Thunder Rat clan. Ling Pengyun secretly felt sorry for the little Thunder Rat in the Golden Core realm in Taxu Valley. However, the Thunder Rat clan is not stupid, and will certainly not take the initiative to spread this information, otherwise our clan would not be unaware of this matter. It is estimated that the Xiangxing sect was able to detect such a private matter of the Thunder Rat Demon clan, or there must be an insider in the Thunder Rat clan, or in the Demon clan that has a close relationship with this clan, or even in the Red Gold Bear clan, the superior force of the Thunder Rat clan. If not, the Xiangxing sect would not be able to know the situation of the giant and demon king of this clan. But this is also an inspiration for our clan. The little rat in the Jiandan realm in the Stepping Cloud Ridge should also be put to greater use. The Qingshi Mountain Jiang family is the second largest clan under the Yuanying clan Xiangxing sect. The number of Jiandan in its clan is not much different from that of the first largest clan, the Black Mountain Zhao family. The only difference between this clan and others is that there is no Jiandan perfection cultivator in this clan, only a clan leader who is at the peak of the 9th level of Jiandan. In addition, the time that this clan had been at odds with the Thunder Rat clan, one of the stronger demon clans under the Red Gold Bear clan, was no shorter than the time that the Black Mountain Zhao clan had been at odds with the Ice and Snow White Lion clan, which was also several thousand years. Afterwards, Ling Pengyun thought about it again, and then he spoke, but he did not agree to the previous inquiry of Zhao Yuanqian, the chief elder of the Black Mountain Zhao clan. If my clan agrees to join forces to deal with the Ice and Snow White Lion clan, I wonder how many Jiandan people the nobles can send. Black Mountain Zhao family. The current strength of the Thunder Rat clan is too strong. Even if my clan joins forces with the Qingshi Mountain Jiang family, it will be difficult to resist this clan during the monster rebellion. According to my clan's expectations, my clan can only send 2 Jiandan at most. I will be among these 2 people, and the other one is a cultivator of the middle Jiandan stage of my clan. In addition, I will also bring the quasi 4th level flame and fire array, in order to kill the remaining 2 demon kings of the Ice and Snow White Lion clan who are above the late Jiandan stage. But this array requires at least 3 cultivators of the middle Jiandan stage or above to barely open the array. If the nobles have more Jiandan cultivators willing to help, the power of this array can be increased by 30%. And my clan is still lacking 1 or even more middle Jiandan cultivators to maintain this array, so this matter falls on fellow Taoist. If you are willing to help, after the Ice and Snow White Lions are destroyed, our clan is willing to distribute 40% of the various spiritual veins, resources and other benefits of the Ice and Snow White Lions to the nobles. The Zhao family was willing to share so many benefits with the Ling family instead of seeking help from other forces, naturally because the Ling family was not weak in strength. Even among the dozens of Jiandan forces under the Xiangxing sect, it could be ranked in the middle, and the Ling family also had an enemy with the Ice and Snow White Lions. It would be the most reliable to bring the Ling family to destroy the Ice and Snow White Lions. At least there is no need to worry that the Ling family will not go all out. Ling Pengyun heard that the Black Mountain Zhao family was willing to give only 2 Jiandans, and he had no intention of cooperating with the Black Mountain Zhao family. However, when he heard about the flame and fire array, his eyes suddenly lit up. Back then, he was still in Yuan state participating in the war between good and evil. When the Ice and Snow White Lions took advantage of the Ling family's emptiness and attacked the Ling family, Zhao Yuanqian, the great elder of the Black Mountain Zhao family, used the blazing fire formation to cooperate with several Zhao family golden elixirs to help Yan Sidai and others who were stationed in the family at that time to kill several golden elixir level ice and snow white lions. This formation can at least burst out the combat power of a golden elixir perfect cultivator or a demon beast. With this formation, there is a chance to kill the remaining late golden elixir of the ice and snow white lions and the golden elixir perfect demon king. Ling Pengyun hesitated for a while and said, "It's possible to join forces, but our clan has to face not only the ice and snow white lion clan, but also the revenge of the red kite bear queen of the red gold bear clan. Therefore, we must at least wait until our clan and the rest of the Yan state's forces stop the revenge of the red kite bear queen before we can spare some manpower to help the nobles. If the nobles can wait, I will agree to this." Zhao Yuanqian could understand this. The Zhao family has been at odds with the Ice and Snow White Lion clan for thousands of years, and during this period, there have been several opportunities to destroy the Ice and Snow White Lion clan. Although the Zhao family does not want to miss this opportunity, it is feasible to wait a little longer. As long as you don't miss this opportunity to destroy the Ice and Snow White Lion clan, Zhao Yuanqian said. Afterwards, the two exchanged a few more words, and Zhao Yuanqian also left the place. After Ling Pengyun returned to the clan's land and explained a few words to Ling Pengyun, he also left the clan's land. Chapter 800, The Difficulties Encountered by the Zhu Family in the Boundless Sea. The Boundless Sea Area of Immortal Cultivation. One of the 36 sea areas, the Muiyuan Sea Area. In the small sea area of the hills to the south. In the deep of the mountain island, a sacred mountain covered by clouds and mist all day long and with a particularly rich spiritual energy, is now undergoing unusual movements. Countless spiritual energy around it seemed to be attracted and rushed into the cave on the top of the sacred mountain. But this situation did not last for 3 days before it suddenly stopped. The cave also opened, and a middle-aged cultivator covered in blood, with a weak breath, messy hair, and a face full of frustration walked out of it in a panic and went down the mountain. At the foot of this mountain, there has been an old man with white hair and a dead aura. At this moment, the old man's face was very bad, and it could be clearly seen that his face was full of iron blue and full of helplessness. Soon, the embarrassed middle-aged cultivator met the old man, and the embarrassed middle-aged cultivator also knelt down with shame. "Grandmaster, I am incompetent and have not refined that demon beast golden elixir. I am ashamed of the expectations of you and my family." After saying this, the embarrassed middle-aged cultivator said with a fierce look, 80% of the spiritual power in my dantian has condensed into solidified spiritual power. I am willing to wait until my vitality is restored and fight to the death with my own strength to break through the foundation alone. The old man with a sullen face heard this and remained silent for a long time. He just exhaled a turbid breath and then spoke. "You had the assistance of an ordinary golden elixir spiritual object twice, but you still failed to refine the monster beast golden elixir. With your own strength, how can you complete the more difficult task of condensing the golden elixir? This is your blessing, but the family's blessing is not enough. It seems that God does not want to see our Shanheiqiu family, a golden elixir clan, continue to prosper with a golden elixir momentum. And let's stop refining the monster beast golden elixir. It's not easy for the family to cultivate you. At least you have the strength of the pseudo-elixir realm, and you can protect the family for decades in the future. I only have 10 years left to live. There is no golden elixir or fake elixir to take over in the clan. Except for you, no one can reach the perfection of foundation building before the best breakthrough of the golden elixir at the age of 150. There are no other golden elixir seeds, and our clan should also plan according to the worst idea." The embarrassed middle-aged cultivator named Bayun heard this, and a hint of excitement appeared on his face. "Ancestor, you must not do that. Once we proceed in that way, this mountain and sea island where our clan has lived for thousands of years will be handed over to others. And without the third-level spiritual vein on this island as a supply, how can our clan's protective formation resist the Yanshanbai family and the Jinlin Wang family?" This embarrassed middle-aged man named Bayun is Chu Bayun, the only golden elixir seed of the Shanheiqiu family in the past hundreds of years. This person is a double spiritual root, born in the secular world. Later, because he showed a strong talent for cultivation, he was valued by the old monk here, the only fake elixir real person of the Zhu family, Chu's Hongshan, and was taken in to cultivate. Because of this, This person cultivated to the state of perfect foundation building when he was only over 120 years old. In the past 1 or 2,000 years, the Jiu family, which has been slowly declining, has also gritted its teeth and emptied most of the fake elixir in the clan, prepared a golden elixir spiritual object for it, and a demon beast golden elixir for it to refine, but in the end it failed. Although Chu Baiyun's life was saved by the efficacy of the golden elixir worth more than 300,000 spiritual stones and the monster golden elixir worth 30,000 spiritual stones that he had taken before were wasted. Until a few years ago, when the meteorite market in the Meteorite Sea area of the Meteorite True Lord's dojo was rumored to be leaking golden elixir, the Jiu family still did not give up. Chu Hongshan, the fake elixir master of the Jiu family, also took the last of the family's assets and bought another golden elixir and a monster golden elixir in the meteorite market. He returned to the family and gave the golden elixir seed to Chu Baiyun. Although Chu Baiyun cherished this second opportunity to enter the fake elixir realm, he had been in seclusion for 2 or 3 years, and only tried to refine the monster golden elixir a few months ago. Unfortunately, in the end, he still failed. The old Jiu family fake elixir master Chu Hongshan said helplessly, "I know the importance of our mountain and island, but the formation is dead after all. Even if our clan's 3rd level middle grade clan protection formation with formation tools is strong, it can be completely destroyed by the strength of the Yanshanbai family and the Jinlin Wang family as long as enough time is spent. By then, you and other clan members will still die. Instead of that, it is better to give our clan's land to my friend who is a casual cultivator in Jindan, in exchange for his protection." Chu Baiyun also knew this truth, but he was still unwilling to hand over the clan's mountain and island to others. In addition to maintaining the Jiu family's clan protection formation, the mountain and island are also particularly important to the Jiu family's finances. The 3rd level low-grade spiritual vein in the mountain and island has reached the peak level, and it is only 1 step away from entering the 3rd level middle grade realm. However, the Jiu family has been declining for nearly 1 or 2,000 years. Most of the remaining spiritual stones in the clan are used to assist the family cultivators to break through the Jindan or condense fake pills. Otherwise, the Jiu family would have upgraded the spiritual vein in the island to the 3rd level middle grade. On Shanhei Island, an island covering tens of thousands of miles, there are hundreds of 1st and 2nd level spiritual veins that the Shanhei Jiu family has migrated back from the outside world using a large formation over the years. Those spiritual veins alone are enough to supply the ordinary Jiu family members who practice Qi and build foundations. Only a few members of the family who have reached the late stage of foundation building can practice on the 3rd level spiritual veins. This also allows this 3rd level spiritual vein to free up a large amount of spiritual energy for planting high-level spiritual plants. After the Jiu family has been operating for so many years, this 3rd level spiritual vein can mature a batch of valuable 3rd level Juan grass every 10 years. Although the Jiu family cannot use these Juan grasses and the Jiu family does not have a 3rd level alchemist, they can be used to cooperate with the 3rd level alchemists in the outside world to refine 3rd level Juan pills and sell them. In other words, this 3rd level spiritual vein can bring at least hundreds of thousands of spiritual stones every 10 years. This kind of wealth is particularly important to the Jiu family, whose spiritual veins have been occupied by their enemies, the Jinlin Wang family and the Yanshanbai family. It accounts for nearly half of the Jiu family's annual wealth. This is before the salary is deducted. If it weren't for the 4,000 or 5,000 cultivators of the Jiu family who lived frugally and knew that the family was in trouble, it would be difficult for the Jiu family to pay salaries now. Under such circumstances, the Jiu family lost the mountain and sea islands, and it would be basically hopeless to accumulate wealth in the future, turn over and buy gold and elixir spiritual objects, and assist the clan members to break through the golden elixir. The friend of the casual cultivator and fake elixir mentioned by Chu Hongshan was a lucky person. His friend was an alchemist. In the early years, he had many business dealings with the Jiu family in alchemy. Later, during the war between the Yuanying sect, the Muan Xianzong, and the neighboring Zuanbin giant whale clan, this person got a monster golden elixir from unknown channels, and then refined the monster golden elixir into the realm of fake elixir. With the help of his cultivation, this person's alchemy was able to enter the 3rd level. For this reason, the alchemy trade between this person and the familiar Jiu family became more frequent. Later, perhaps because he had made a fake pill and had no hope of becoming a Taoist, He married many wives and wanted to create a family to continue his bloodline. However, as an alchemist, he rarely served the Muing Immortal sect and won military merits, so it was naturally difficult for him to exchange for a suitable third-level spiritual vein in the Muing Immortal sect. In desperation, the man set his sights on the Jiu family and promised to protect the Jiu family for 300 years as long as the Jiu family gave away the mountains and seas. However, at that time, Qiu Hongshan, the fake pill cultivator of the Jiu family, did not agree to this. Ancestor, wait a few more years until my vitality recovers, and I will try to break through and condense the golden elixir by myself, and then make plans, okay? If the family really reaches the point where they need to exchange the family land for safety, it will be useless for me, a pseudo-elixir cultivator. If I can condense the golden elixir, it will be enough to change the fate of the family. And if I can't condense the golden elixir, Shan Haidao will do as you say. Qiu Baiyun still didn't give up on breaking through the golden elixir by himself, so he said again. Qiu Hongshan, the fake elixir of the Jiu family, heard this, and his helpless face also showed some expectations. Okay, since you are willing to risk your life, I will fight with you again. It is too difficult to break through the golden elixir alone. Next year, when the Muing market opens once every 3 years, I will auction the Zuinin sword, the superior third-grade lower-grade flying sword magic weapon left by my ancestors. It is estimated that it can be exchanged for 200,000 or 300,000 spiritual stones. By then, although it is impossible to buy a rare ordinary golden elixir spiritual object with this amount of spiritual stones, it should be no problem to get a pulse protection pill and a monster golden elixir. Then, you can try to refine the fake pill again. Qiu Baiyun heard this, but he was not happy. Ancestor, that Zuinin sword is the only third-grade magic weapon left in the clan that can be used. Once it is gone, your strength will be greatly reduced. If the golden elixir of the Jinlin Wang family and the Anshanbai family takes the opportunity to attack, it will be bad. It's not okay to sell the Zuinin sword. Bai Hongshan said. As long as I am alive, the protective formation of the mountain and sea islands is still there, and the family will not fall. If I am gone, the family will have no other golden elixirs and will not be able to keep the Zuinin sword. I have made up my mind on this matter. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.